Chapter 3054. At 1 o'clock in the morning, Old Nyo's 20-plus experts and 100-plus people had all gathered. There was no need to talk about the strength of a provincial boss like him. The people who came were all strong and capable of fighting. Even if they were ordinary fighters, they would be as fierce as 5 people in Xionghu. Old Nyo only had one goal today, which was to destroy Lai Wen's nest in one fell swoop and let this grandson know what it felt like to suffer. As long as he could snatch the people in Lai Wen's hands, he would be the #1 person in the antique collecting circle. Lai Wen would be completely finished and his reputation would be ruined. Old Nyo had to cooperate with Su Yun. Although he and Su Yun had agreed to meet at 1 o'clock sharp, Old Nyo purposely prepared to be late. He didn't gather his men in advance but asked them to gather outside his residence at 1 o'clock in the morning. So many people could gather on time. Not many people in Xionghu could do it. Brother Nyo, the brothers are all here. Old Nyo's most trusted subordinate, Black Sparrow, also came to Old Nyo's bedroom door. Black Sparrow was one of the few people around Old Nyo who could enter his residence as he wished. The door to Old Cow's bedroom was not closed. It was a scene of spring inside. Old Cow was still eating the tender grass. The strong medicine imported from the United States made him full of energy. He tirelessly plowed the fertile rice field under him. Hearing Black Sparrow's words, Old Nyo suddenly stopped and looked at his watch. It was time. The school bell, Xiao Si, who was behind him, didn't seem to be satisfied. She twisted a few times and didn't care if Black Sparrow, who was at the door, saw them. I got it. Old Nyo was considered a person with a strong sense of time. Without saying anything, he got off the bed without hesitation. The school bell, Xiao Si, smiled. In the future, you will eat this, Mr. Mighty. This medicine is really too powerful. Isn't it powerful? Humph. Let me tell you, this medicine can last for 8 hours. Wait for me to settle the matters over there. When I come back, I will fight you 300 rounds. Old Nyo said proudly as he put on his clothes. Black Sparrow stood at the door and didn't look inside. Although Black Sparrow knew that Brother Nyo, Xiao Si, was very loose and had seduced him many times, he didn't dare to look up. Black Sparrow didn't know if Brother Nyo had purposely arranged this to test him, so it was better not to try it. Even if there was a boundless spring scenery in front of him, Black Sparrow had absolutely no intention of taking a second look. For this kind of thing, it was possible that one would be unable to extricate themselves from it if they took a second look. Who knew how much this kind of woman could squeeze a man? Black Sparrow, I'll get you a few boxes of this Mr. Ferocious to try later. I guarantee that you won't have a problem beating the 108 red card technicians in our bathing city. Old Cow laughed. Black Sparrow laughed dryly and nodded. Mr. Mighty? Wasn't this AF*King toilet cleaner spirit? When did it suddenly become a strong drug? Was Old Cow sure that he didn't take the wrong medicine? If he really ate the toilet cleaner spirit, that would be troublesome. Even a gastric lavage would probably be useless. Thank you for thinking of me, Brother Bull. Black Sparrow could only reply in this way. Black Sparrow, you've been with me for so many years. I've always thought of you. Old Ox laughed. He was indeed quite good to Black Sparrow. After all, having a first-rate expert by his side to help him deal with matters made him feel at ease. Because he had Black Sparrow by his side, there were many people who wanted to fight with him for the position of Xionghu's boss. After all, he was a first-rate expert. With this ability, he could make a living anywhere. First-rate experts and second-rate experts were different. Although they didn't break through the bottleneck and become a true super expert, they could still make a living anywhere. The main reason why Old Cow valued Black Sparrow was that Black Sparrow was at this level. He had the capital to make Old Cow value him. How good Old Cow was to Black Sparrow could be seen from the aspect of women. Old Cow knew that Black Sparrow had the same interest in women as him. Therefore, Old Cow wasn't stingy at all to give Black Sparrow a lot of women that he was tired of playing with. This included the school belle Xiao Si. Sooner or later, Old Cow would get tired of playing with her. The day he got tired of playing with her would be the day he gave her to Black Sparrow. Therefore, he didn't mind Black Sparrow seeing this woman's body. However, if Black Sparrow didn't look, that would be showing his loyalty to him. Unless Old Cow gave it to him, Black Sparrow definitely wouldn't reach out his hand. Receiving a reward and secretly eating it were two completely different concepts. Although secretly eating it would make people feel better, Black Sparrow knew that if he wanted to have a good life in Xionghu, he still needed Old Cow's backing. In society, this matter definitely didn't depend on who was ruthless enough or whose fist was hard enough. To be a boss, one couldn't fight against 10 people alone. More often than not, one needed brains, courage, and charisma. Old Cow had this charisma, but Black Sparrow didn't. Tonight, it's all up to you. Old Cow had already put on his clothes. Lai Wen's lifebound isn't someone to be trifled with. I'm not worried about the other people around him. They aren't your opponents, but this lifebound is an expert that isn't weaker than you. Black Sparrow nodded. He was very clear about Lifebound's strength. They were both experts in the underground world. Lifebound was a first-rate expert like him. As for what level they were at, he wasn't too clear. But overall, the difference in strength between the two was very small. It was almost a tie. But you don't have to worry. As long as that fellow beside Lai Wen stands beside us, we will definitely win, Old Cow said. Just now, when he went to meet Su Yun, he didn't bring Black Sparrow along. That was because he didn't want to have a conflict with Su Yun from the start. He brought a few second-rate experts with guns just to intimidate Su Yun. But he didn't intimidate Su Yun at all. Instead, he was slapped in the face by Su Yun. That fellow's strength is impressive. Old Cow had a lingering fear in his heart. He knew that even if he brought Black Sparrow along, he would only make Black Sparrow lose face. I feel that you won't be his opponent either. Black Sparrow was expressionless. He had heard that this person could get rid of more than 10 brothers in the afternoon by himself. At night, he made Old Cow lose face even though they had guns in their hands. In any case, Black Sparrow knew that he didn't have this strength. With such a powerful person, is tonight's matter really reliable? Black Sparrow said, Brother Cow, shouldn't we seriously consider it again? Old Cow waved his large hand. If you want to do big things, you have to gamble. If we fight with Lai Wen head-on, both sides will be injured, and I won't benefit from it. Now that we have such a person helping us, I can win without losing. If he... Black Sparrow's worry was completely based on his sixth sense. Old Cow shook his head. I can't think so much. If he really didn't help us, I had a chance to attack just now. He didn't attack, so I had to gamble. Black Sparrow was silent. If he really wants to help Lai Wen, I will treat it as if I was humiliated by him just now, Old Cow said. Lai Wen does have some connections in Xionghu, but he won't dare to let his subordinates take my life. Black Sparrow expressed his loyalty. As long as I still have a breath, I won't let anyone hurt you. I know you will protect me. Old Cow laughed out loud. However, Lai Wen won't dare to go overboard. After all, he still has to make a living in Xionghu. He won't dare to disregard me at all. Black Sparrow nodded his head. He definitely won't dare to. No matter what, we have to take down this matter today. Even if that little fellow set a trap for us, we have to get that woman out of Lai Wen's prison, Old Cow said. You have already found out where she is imprisoned. I will leave this matter to you. Chapter 3055. Under the premise of ensuring Brother Bull's safety, I will definitely get him out, Black Sparrow said firmly. Old Cow hurriedly waved his hand. You have to understand the main point. The main point is to get him out. Don't worry about my safety. I don't believe that even if Lai Wen has the ability to hold me down, he won't harm my life. This. Black Sparrow was startled. Lai Wen is actually more sinister and ruthless than what we have seen. Brother Bull, I feel that we should be more careful. No matter how ruthless he is, he can't be more ruthless than me, right? Old Cow said. What do I rely on for a living? What does he rely on for a living? The two of us have a fundamental difference, so I'm not worried about what he can do to me. Black Sparrow still had a vague feeling that Lai Wan was not as simple as what they had seen. However, a feeling was just a feeling. He did not know what kind of business Lai Wan was doing. No one in Xionghu knew about Lai Wen's business in Africa. Old Cow did not know either. In the past 2 years, Lai Wan was no longer someone he could compare to. In Old Cow's eyes, Lai Wan was still the same person from 2 years ago. However, he was only on equal footing with him. In fact, Lai Wen's development center was no longer in Xionghu. Xionghu was just a foothold for him, a route. In the past 2 years, Lai Wen had continuously developed his power in Yanjing. His right-hand man, Wang Wan, had also been thrown to Africa. Therefore, Lai Wen's business in Xionghu did not seem to have developed. However, he was already someone in Yanjing who could speak with the Zhong family. He was not an ordinary person. In Old Cow's eyes, Lai Wan was not a comprehensive Lai Wan. If Lai Wan took back his power in Yanjing and overseas, even 3 Old Cows would not be Lai Wen's opponent. It was because Lai Wan felt that it did not matter in Xionghu. If there was trouble, it would only be Old Cow. Lai Wan only needed to arrange Wei Shang in Xionghu, and Old Cow would be afraid. Lai Wan had been doing this for the past 2 years. Furthermore, this was very effective. Old Cow indeed did not really provoke him in the past 2 years. Although Old Cow had always wanted to find a chance to mess with him, he did not dare to do so. This was fear. Their strength was similar. Once they fought, both sides would be injured. Lai Wan only needed people who could restrain Old Cow in Lake Xionghu. That was why Old Cow felt that Lai Wan had not developed much over the past 2 years and was still the same as before. Little did he know that now that Old Cow had really offended Lai Wan, if Lai Wan really dared to touch him, he would take his life. Furthermore, if Old Bull really killed him, he would definitely have his connections and methods to make him safe and sound. This was Lai Wen's true strength now, but Old Cow was a frog at the bottom of the well. He did not see how far Lai Wen's path in the outside world was. To put it bluntly, Old Cow was blindly conceited. Remember, our secondary priority is the girl that Lai Wen has detained. Everything else doesn't matter. As long as we find her, we will retreat immediately. Old Cow believed that as long as he took her away, Lai Wen would not be able to do anything. Actually, even if there was no Su Yun today and Old Cow really snatched her away, Lai Wen would still dare to use all his connections and power to directly trample Old Cow to death the next day. Lai Wen found it interesting that Old Nyo was in Xionghu all these years. After all, being invincible was lonely, and Lai Wen did not want to return to Xionghu without any thoughts. Sometimes, having an opponent would be more fun for him in life. Brother Cow, don't worry. No matter what price I have to pay today, I will bring back the person that you want, Black Sparrow promised. At this moment, Old Cow had also put on his clothes. The school bell, Little Four, said, "Then go and come back early. I am still waiting for you, Mr. Mighty." Old Cow chuckled and pinched the school bell, Little Four's but fiercely. Black Sparrow lowered his head again because he thought of the toilet cleaner spirit again. Half an hour later, Old Cow brought over 100 people and dozens of cars to surround Lai Wen's villa. At this moment, Lai Wen was already asleep. And Su Yun had also fallen asleep. When it was 1 a.m., Su Yun saw that there was no movement outside at all and directly gave up on using Old Cow as a chess piece. He really thought that Old Cow was not stupid and had seen through that he was using him. Who knew that Old Cow only wanted to put on airs and was only half an hour late. As for the matter of using and being used, Old Cow really did not use his brain at all. It was not that he did not think about these things normally, but the temptation that Su Yun gave him was really too big. What did it mean to have such a fake expert? Just thinking about it made Old Cow excited. There was nothing more important than this, so Old Cow was foolishly fooled. When dozens of cars surrounded Lai Wen's house, Lai Wen's subordinates all became alert. Speaking of which, Lai Wen only had less than 30 people to protect him. Fortunately, these 30 people were all experts and there were no ordinary thugs. Although Old Cow had a lot of people, they were made up of more than 20 experts and more than 100 thugs. Speaking of which, the difference in strength between the two sides was very small. Lai Wan was immediately woken up by his subordinates. Although Lai Wan was also a lecher, he really did not have any women at home. In his words, he did not like to eat the women in his nest. Wei Shang, Lai Wen's most capable subordinate in Xionghu, was standing beside Lai Wen's bed at this moment. "Boss. It's Old Cow. I really didn't expect him to suddenly bring so many people over." Wei Shang was a little worried. Could it be that he became angry because of what happened in the afternoon? Lai Wen sat up on the bed. He was really a little sleepy. It can't be. If Old Cow could suppress his anger, he would not be so angry so easily. When I spoke to him on the phone this afternoon, he had clearly suppressed his anger. It is impossible for it to suddenly erupt now. There must be a reason behind this. Wei Sheng frowned. Then what could it be? Lai Wen shook his head. I don't know about this. I can only ask Old Cow why. Boss, are you really going to meet him? This is very dangerous. He brought too many people. Wei Shang was indeed not confident. Although they had many people, more than 30 of them, all of them were experts. However, the other party's human wave tactic gave him a headache. It was very difficult for him to take care of Lai Wen's safety. Why are you panicking? Don't I still have Su Yun? Lai Wen smiled proudly. Wei Shang, maybe you still don't understand Su Yun's strength, but after today, you will understand what an overwhelming advantage is. Boss, aren't you trusting him too much? Wei Shang did not understand Su Yun's strength at all. The corners of Lai Wen's mouth curled up slightly, and he let out a light snort. He can destroy the base of the American arms dealer alone. What do you think Old Cow's 100 people are? Wei Sheng frowned. Do you know who the subordinates of the American arms dealer are? They are the fully armed American Navy SEALs. They are not something that Old Cow subordinates can be compared to, Lai Wen said proudly. If this happened to anyone, they would be able to brag about it for a lifetime. Wei Shang had not seen it with his own eyes, so he still felt that it was a little exaggerated and strange. Then, we should be more careful. Lai Wen stood up and patted Wei Shang's shoulder. Don't worry. You are still too young. You don't have this kind of courage. Zhao laughed dryly. He did not have this kind of courage, but this kind of courage sounded quite scary. I want to see how this old bull cries in a while. Lai Wen laughed out loud, looking very savage. Su Yun, who had also woken up, heard Lai Wen's laughter. The corners of his mouth curled up, and he revealed a smile. Chapter 3056. Su Yun knew that Lai Wen wasn't clear about the agreement between him and Old Cow. If Lai Wen knew that the current arrangements were made by Su Yun, he probably wouldn't even be able to cry, let alone laugh. But then again, Old Cow's concept of time was too bad. Where was the agreed one in the morning? It was already 1:30 in the morning. At this time, Lai Wen's 30 subordinates were already waiting in the villa's courtyard. Old Ox's underlings had also rushed in. More than 20 experts were walking in the front. Behind them were more than 100 hired thugs. Their imposing manner had suddenly risen. Old Cow walked in leisurely. Indifference was written all over his face. Black Sparrow was still guarding Old Cow very cautiously. I was wondering who it was. So it's Brother Cow. I wonder why Brother Cow is visiting so late at night. Our boss is already asleep. If there's anything, we can talk about it tomorrow. Lai Wen's subordinate shouted. Old Cow waved his hand. Who do you think you are? You don't have the qualifications to talk to me. Without waiting for the other party to speak again, Old Cow spoke again. Do you think I'm here to discuss something with your boss at this time? You're King stupid. If I come at this time, then I don't have good intentions. Do you understand? Then Brother Cow should think clearly. This isn't a place where you can cause trouble just because you want to. Lai Wen's subordinate was also very unyielding. Old Cow spat a mouthful of thick phlegm into Lai Wen's courtyard. *CK off. It's not up to you to decide whether I can cause trouble at this place or not. If I want to do something, even if it's in front of Yanjing's Tiananmen Square, I will still do it. Then I'm afraid that Brother Cow will enter some special department's detention room the next day and won't be able to come out. Lie when subordinate wasn't polite to Old Cow. Old Cow glared. Stop King talking nonsense. Quickly go and wake Lie up for me. I have something to settle with him. At this moment, Lai Wen had already arrived at the door of Su Yun's room. Lai Wen knew that Su Yun was definitely awake, but Su Yun didn't open the door and come out. Lai Wen thought about the reason at the door and couldn't help but reveal a smile. He guessed that Su Yun must be blaming him. Because he hadn't taken Su Yun to see his collection after he came back, Su Yun felt that he was suspicious of him, so he was a little arrogant now. This was something that Lai Wen could understand. Lai Wen didn't mind knocking on Su Yun's door. Su Yun also immediately responded to Lai Wen, Boss Lai, do you need me to deal with this person who came in the middle of the night? Yes, I'm afraid I need your help. Lai Wen said, however, there is another matter. Su Yun didn't know what Lai Wen was up to, so he didn't answer and slowly opened the door. After Su Yun opened the door, Lai Wen Kai continued, another thing is to take Brother Su Yun to visit my collection room. At this time, Su Yun was stunned. He obviously didn't expect Lai Wen to say such a sentence. Lai Wen nodded, because I have a very rare night pearl. It's just that the night pearl will only light up after 2 o'clock in the morning, so I want to arrange for you to visit my collection room at this time. Although Su Yun didn't have much reaction on his face, he was really amazed in his heart. Lai Wen's mouth is really good at fooling people. It can only light up at 2 o'clock in the morning? Does the night pearl have its own alarm? What is the concept of 2 o'clock in the morning? The whole Huaxia is so big, and there are several time differences. Could it be that this night pearl also knows the time in Yenjing? Isn't this the same as T? The key is that Lai Wen can say this T as if it's real. Only a ghost would believe you. Su Yun scolded in his heart. Do you really think I'm ignorant and haven't seen a night pearl before? The night pearl is the same as the night light. As long as it's dark, it will light up. Even if it's in the middle of the day, it will still light up. Of course, this is what Su Yun thought. After all, he really hasn't seen a night pearl before. He only saw the oriental pearl. Boss Lai is really considerate. Su Yun smiled. It's a pity that someone came to ruin our mood. Lai Wen said, I originally wanted to give Brother Su Yun a surprise, but now someone came to give us a shock. Su Yun said lightly, it really gave us a shock. It's the middle of the night. Who is that outside? Old Nyo, he brought his people to find trouble with me. Lai Wen said, this guy's guts are really not small now. The mastermind behind those people in the afternoon? Su Yun pretended to be surprised and said, he only came to settle the score at this time. This guy's nervous system reaction is a bit too slow. Lai Wen nodded. However, this can also be considered as taking revenge in the middle of the night. Su Yun smiled. Then, Boss Lai, get someone to chase away the ghost who knocked on the door in the middle of the night. It's not too late for us to go see the night pearl. I really don't want you to do such a small thing. Lai Wen smiled. He didn't expect Su Yun to put on airs in front of him. It's just that this guy suddenly attacked me. He brought more than 100 people. You know how many brothers I have here. I'm afraid it's difficult for 2 fists to fight against 4 hands. Su Yun immediately understood and nodded. I understand. Ha ha ha, this is different if it's you, brother. Lai Wen said, don't talk about 4 hands. Even if it's 40 or 400 hands, it's still a piece of cake for you. Su Yun waved his hand. Boss Lai, don't flatter me. I only have 2 hands. It's also difficult for me to fight against 4 feet. Hearing this, Wei Shang couldn't help but get a little angry. Su Yun, don't think that just because the boss gave you face, you can keep on putting on airs. Let me tell you, even if you don't do anything today, I can still settle it. Boss Lai, I didn't say that. Su Yun's temper wasn't good to provoke. He didn't plan to do anything at first. He just wanted to see the scene of a dog biting another dog. He was just worried that he didn't have an excuse. Wei Sheng really sent him warmth in his hour of need. Lai Wen was stunned. He glared at Wei Sheng. What are you talking about? Boss, I'm carrying the bowl of rice that you gave me. I'm doing what you want me to do. I won't be like some people who put on airs when they encounter such a small thing. Su Yun waved his hand. You're awesome. Go do what you need to do. Lai Wen saw that Su Yun was really angry. He was a little speechless. Brother Su Yun, this matter can't be done without you. He felt that since he, the boss, had already spoken, Su Yun should give him face, right? Who knew that Su Yun really didn't give anyone face? Boss Lai, I can guarantee your safety and the safety of all your assets. But I can't guarantee the safety of your subordinates. They won't pay me. Lai Wen was stunned. Su Yun smiled disdainfully. When faced with some things, people in the world have 3 ways to deal with them. The first is if you can do it, you go. If you can't, I'll run. The second is whether you can do it or not, I'll go. The third is if you can do it, you go. If you can't, I'll go. Lai Wen had gained some knowledge. I belong to the third way, so I'm sorry. Su Yun said calmly, if they can't do it, I'll naturally do what I should do. Lai Wen was speechless. This Wei Sheng was really asking for trouble. Originally, with Su Yun's help, they could directly take down Old Cow in one fell swoop. Now, it was definitely going to be a tough battle. Although Su Yun was hired by Lai Wen like the others, in this current situation, Lai Wen didn't owe Su Yun much. He couldn't order him around so unscrupulously. After all, Lai Wen wanted to cultivate feelings for Su Yun. He didn't want to be an ordinary subordinate. Chapter 3057. All right. Brother, I'll listen to you. Lai Wen nodded. Let them handle it first. Su Yun didn't have any intention of apologizing for his actions. He allowed Wei Sheng to bring people out to fight against Old Cow's subordinates. He couldn't show himself, but at least he had to let Old Cow see some hope. If he went out to help Lai Wen establish his power, what would he do if Old Cow ran away when he saw that the situation wasn't good? Su Yun was still waiting for Old Cow to save Xia Choyu for him. Although Su Yun didn't plan to make a move, Lai Wen could still remain calm. After all, there were many things that he couldn't easily control. Let nature take its course. Anyway, with Su Yun by his side, Lai Wen didn't have to worry about Old Cow's counterattack. In the courtyard, Black Sparrow gave the order, and hundreds of people started to attack Lai Wen's villa. That wave of people entered in a single file. Even if Lai Wen had so many experts under him, he couldn't stop all of them. Wei Sheng had already rushed to the villa's courtyard. Today, he had to perform well in front of his boss. This way, Lai Wen would know who his most loyal subordinate was. He had to prove his loyalty and his usefulness. It was far more important than Su Yun, who had just arrived. Don't look at how Su Yun acted just now. Wei Sheng wasn't angry at all. The more Su Yun acted like this, the more opportunities he had to show himself. Wei Sheng knew very well how to be a person that a boss needed. In his eyes, Su Yun didn't know that at all. Soon, Wei Sheng and Black Sparrow met. Both of them were famous experts in Lake Xiang. Naturally, neither of them was willing to submit to the other. Wei Sheng thought that Boss Lai, who had the ability to become the richest man in Lake Xiang, was the person at the top of Lake Xiang. On the other hand, Black Sparrow thought that Old Cow, who had the biggest influence and face in Lake Xiang, was the person at the top of Lake Xiang. Therefore, the two of them weren't particularly harmonious. It was like some of the Qing dynasty dramas. The servants and eunuchs of the young masters who fought for power also liked to fight with each other. Wei Sheng, I advise you to stop working for your boss. Kneel down and beg me. Maybe I can talk to Brother Bull and take you in as a follower. I'll give you a job to support your family. Black Sparrow sneered. Don't disgust me. Wei Sheng had long found Black Sparrow an eyesore. If you dare to come here today, I'll make sure you never leave. All right, let's see if you have the ability to do so. Black Sparrow revealed a vicious smile. At this moment, a small thug from Old Nyo's side who didn't have eyes raised the weapon in his hand and pounced towards Wei Sheng. Perhaps he wanted to show off in front of Black Sparrow, but unfortunately, he found the wrong person. Wei Sheng used a cloud hand and sent him flying. He crashed into the pond with a thud and lost consciousness. Do you really think that you can succeed with a bunch of trash? He spat. Don't make me look down on you. The two of them were on the verge of breaking out into a fight. Their fists and feet were on par with each other. The strength of the experts by Old Cow's side could be said to be on par with the strength of the experts in Lai Wen's family. But apart from these experts, Old Cow still had 100 hired thugs by his side. These people were incredible. They were completely superfluous. Although more than 80 of the 100 people were quickly lost, these 80 people were enough to smash Lai Wen's house into smithereens. With the sound of glass being smashed and the door being kicked open, Lai Wen's face was a little embarrassed. Brother, if this continues, I'm afraid my house will be smashed into smithereens. Lai Wen laughed a few times and endured the pain in his heart. Su Yun smiled slightly. Yes, these people are really too much. They really aren't particular at all. Old Cow has never been particular about doing things. Lai Wen said, I think I should really teach him a lesson for this matter. Wei Sheng is so confident. If I don't hand this matter over to him and steal the limelight, I'm afraid I won't be able to survive here in the future. The reason Su Yun found was a little too far-fetched. Some things should be done. Some things should be done. Some things should be completed. Some things should be declined. Su Yun knew the logic behind this, so he didn't think much about it and directly pushed Lai Wen's idea back. Lai Wen really couldn't sit still this time. Brother, Wei Sheng can't do it alone. He's just stubborn. But if I really do it, won't I be scolded for being pretentious for the rest of my life? Su Yun said. Lai Wen laughed. That's still better than my collection room being smashed by Old Cow, right? Boss Lai's collection room is so hidden. It's impossible for anyone to know. I'm afraid Old Cow doesn't have that ability. Su Yun, even if Old Cow knows, his people won't be able to get in, right? Lai Wen was startled. There are so many mechanisms. Old Cow's few people. Su Yun's words seemed to be praising Lai Wen's collection room, but in fact, he was still pushing the matter. Lai Wen didn't care about his face anymore. Although there are mechanisms, it can't be defended against so many people. Brother, I think it's really necessary for you to take action. Alright, since Boss Lai has said so, I'll go and protect the collection room. Su Yun stretched. Don't worry, Boss Lai. Lai Wen's expression changed. Brother, are you blaming me for not bringing you to see my collection room when I came back? That's why you think I don't trust you enough? Now that you're doing this, it seems like you're giving me a hard time. Boss Lai, you're thinking too much. You're the boss, and I'm hired by you. How would I dare to give you a hard time? Su Yun hurriedly waved his hand and explained, You mustn't think too much. I'm just afraid that the collection room is really not safe. Lai Wen was a little unhappy, but he needed people now. The most important thing now was to make Su Yun stand up. Brother, my collection room is still very safe. What's not safe is my house, Lai Wen said. Lai Wen said, if you can block them outside the house, this matter will be much simpler. Wei Sheng brought more than 20 brothers and couldn't do it. How can I do it with more than 100 people? Su Yun, don't talk about people. Even if more than 100 ants drill in, I can't stop them alone, right? Brother, you seem to be a little abnormal today. Lai Wen directly said, if you have any opinions, just tell me. Su Yun waved his hand. If Boss Lai wants me to say it, I really want to say what I think. Lai Wen's expression changed. He knew that Su Yun must have something on his mind. As the saying goes, don't use people you suspect, and don't doubt people you use. Su Yun, if Boss Lai thinks I'm suspicious and doesn't want to use me, then you don't have to bring me back. I'm fine in Africa. But after I came back, I felt that Boss Lai didn't trust me, which made me very disappointed. Lai Wen's expression was a little stunned. This guy actually threw all the reasons on him. This was clearly telling Lai Wen that it wasn't that Su Yun wasn't loyal, but that Lai Wen didn't trust him enough. Brother Su Yun, you really think too much. I don't doubt you at all. Lai Wen said, if I had doubts about you, how could I bring you back to Xionghu? Can't you see my trust in you? Su Yun shook his head. When I encounter a crisis, you say this again, it makes me more hesitant. You mean I'm just using you? Lai Wen said. I was hired by you. It was originally a relationship. Su Yun. It doesn't matter. It's your right to use me. Then what are you doing now? Lai Wen was puzzled. Su Yun spread his hands. I don't want to be used by you. It's also my right. Don't I have the right? Su Yun. What do you mean by telling me this now? You can ask for anything, but don't do this, okay? Lai Wen was annoyed. He was completely enraged. Chapter 3058. Looking at the angry Lai Wen, Su Yun couldn't help but pity him. Boss Lai, there are some things that I don't want to say so clearly. Why do you have to make it so clear? Stop talking nonsense. How much do you want? Tell me. Lai Wen thought that Su Yun wanted to raise the price, and disgust rose from his heart. Boss Lai, this isn't the first time we've met. You should know what kind of person I am when we were in Africa. Su Yun, if I'm doing this for your money, do you think I'll return to China with you? Lai Wen's face turned red. What do you mean? Do you know how much the arms dealer wanted to give me? Su Yun, you'll be scared to death if I tell you, so don't talk about money. Lai Wen took in a cold breath. Okay, I won't talk about money. Then tell me, what can I talk about? Whatever you want, just tell me. As long as I have it, I'll consider it. You'll give me whatever I want. Su Yun showed a strong interest in this. Lai Wen sneered in his heart. Didn't he have a motive? He knew that there was no problem in this world that couldn't be solved. As long as there was enough bargaining chips, nothing was a problem. The prerequisite is that you have to defeat all of Old Cow's men. Lai Wen gritted his teeth and said, Make Old Cow kneel in front of me and lick my shoes. Su Yun looked at Lai Wen gritting his teeth and looking full of hatred. He couldn't help but sweat for Old Cow. At first, I thought that Old Cow liked to bully people. Now, it seems that you're much more ruthless than him. Who does he think he is? He doesn't deserve to be mentioned in the same breath as me. Lai Wen glared. Okay, Boss Lai. After all, we have a good relationship. Su Yun smiled. If you agree to my conditions, I'll help you get Old Cow away. Lai Wen immediately agreed. Just say the word. Su Yun also had a motive. If he helped Old Cow, what would he do if Old Cow couldn't find Xia Qiuyu, or if Xia Qiuyu had already been transferred? The most reliable way was to let Lai Wen solve this problem. I only want one person from you. The mysterious smile on Su Yun's face made Lai Wen completely confused. You want people? Lai Wen asked blankly, Who do you want? Women. Su Yun was still smiling. Lai Wen was even more surprised when he heard this. Didn't Su Yun not get close to women at all? It wasn't like he hadn't brought him to look for women before. This guy pretended to be a gentleman, but now he was asking him for a woman? As long as you can cripple old Nyo, I will give you as many women as you want. Lai Wen wasn't boasting at all. Even if you want to be a groom every night, there's no problem at all. Tell me, what kind of woman do you want? Su Yun smiled and shook his head. I only want this woman, as long as you give her to me. In an instant, Lai Wen suddenly understood what Su Yun meant. His face turned ashen once again. You. Could it be that you want that person from me? Boss Lai is indeed a smart person. Su Yun said faintly. Wei Shang and those 20 brothers can probably hold on for another 10 minutes at most. Su Yun. Are you sick in the head? What's the point of you asking me for that woman? Lai Wen said. I can give you money, how much do you want? I can give you a house. You can choose any villa within Yenjing's Third Ring Road. I can give you a car, whatever Ferrari, Bentley, whatever you want, I will give it to you. But you asking me for that woman is meaningless to you. After 10 minutes, if Wei Shang and the others are all lying down, I'm afraid Boss Lai will be adding shoes to old Niu. Su Yun didn't pay attention to Lai Wen's words. Are you listening to me or not? Lai Wen raised his voice. The corner of Su Yun's mouth raised slightly. Boss Lai, shouldn't I be asking you this question? Are you listening to me or not? Lai Wen's entire body was completely frozen. This Su Yun is really... Boss Lai, that's enough. Su Yun, I don't want to waste my breath. If you don't tell me what your purpose is, I definitely won't hand her over to you. Lai Wen fell into a deep fear. Did you have a purpose from the beginning when you contacted me? You going to Africa was just a setup? Just to make me fall into your trap? There are still 9 minutes. Su Yun ignored him. Lai Wen was really about to go crazy. Boss Lai, it's fine if you don't hand her over to me. Su Yun, but I can tell you, old Niu's purpose today is for her. Do you understand? What did you say? Lai Wen didn't believe him. How do you know? Su Yun laughed. Of course I know, because I was the one who asked him to come. Lai Wen even had the heart to die. His face was ashen. You used him? Against me? Just to make me hand her over to you. Very smart. Su Yun nodded. Boss Lai, the two of us are considered acquaintances, that's why I said so much nonsense to you. I just want you to understand the whole thing clearly. Lai Wen sneered. You're really scheming. Thank you for the compliment. Su Yun, such a simple matter, Boss Lai should completely understand it now, right? Lai Wen nodded in despair. What you want is her. No matter who you help today, you will take her away in the end. As for me and old Niu, whoever is willing to be used by you, you will help them step on the other person. Correct. I'll give you 99 points for this answer. I'm afraid you'll be proud of the remaining 1 point. Su Yun laughed. Boss Lai, have you thought it through? Are you going to take the initiative, or should I ask old Niu to help me dig 3 feet into the ground? Lai Wen's whole body trembled. He didn't expect Su Yun to play such a trick on him. Your building here is quite good. It's quite a pity to let old Niu ruin it. Su Yun shook his head regretfully. Boss Lai, I won't make things difficult for you. If you think you can fight, then fight. I'll bring you to find her. You ask old Niu to lick my shoes. Lai Wen said these words very stiffly. At this moment, the Lai family's defense army led by Wei Shang was already completely defeated. They were about to be completely defeated by old Niu's people. Although Wei Shang was very brave, he still couldn't do anything when facing Black Sparrow, who had more helpers than him. Wei Shang, who had many injuries on his body, had almost no strength to resist. Black Sparrow took the opportunity to launch a fierce attack, completely suppressing Wei Shang's last breath. The moment Wei Shang fell to the ground and closed his eyes, it meant that Lai Wen's subordinates were completely defeated. At this moment, Lai Wen had already brought Su Yun into the villa's basement. After 7 or 8 turns, Su Yun was a bit dizzy. This was like an 8 trigrams formation. It was really quite interesting. To be honest, looking at this situation, Su Yun really doubted whether they could really find Xia Qiuyu's prison if they relied on old Niu. Not long later, the two of them arrived in front of an elevator. Boss Lai is really good. There's really a different world in your house. Su Yun sighed. If you really ask old Niu to help find her, I'm afraid it'll really take 3 days and 3 nights to dig. Lai Wen took a deep breath. You better do what you say and ask old Niu to scram. I know, you're worried that old Niu will really dig a house for you, then all the good things and treasures you've collected will be completely gone. Su Yun, that kind of feeling will definitely be worse than death. Lai Wen's sore spot was poked, but he didn't say anything. After the elevator door opened, he walked in. Su Yun, oh Su Yun, this is really a double-edged sword. It can hurt the enemy and also hurt oneself. Lai Wen was annoyed that he didn't see it from the start. Chapter 3059. Xia Qiuyu didn't know how many days she had been locked up here. From the first day she was locked up in this secret room, she had lost all sense of time. Other than enduring and waiting, Xia Qiuyu didn't know what else she could do. She had already started to regret running to this damned place. If she had been able to endure for a while, if she had been able to bring out the difficulties she was facing from the very beginning to Su Yun, then she would not have ended up in this state. Over the past few days, Xia Qiuyu had slowly come to understand how insignificant she was. She always thought that she could do something, but that wasn't the case. She couldn't do anything by herself. Her overconfidence turned into arrogance. Those dangers weren't things she could touch. Footsteps sounded. Xia Qiuyu raised her head under the dim light. Although she didn't have much sense of time, she knew very well that it had only been a few hours since the meal was delivered. It couldn't be that fast. Xia Qiuyu quickly thought that perhaps someone had come to persuade her. This wasn't the first time someone had come to talk to her about this. When the footsteps got closer, Xia Qiuyu lowered her head and sat on the edge of the bed. Don't waste your energy. Tell your master that if he wants to endure like this, I'll keep him company. After a pause, Xia Qiuyu continued, Don't give me a chance to escape, and don't give me a chance to fight back. Otherwise, he'll definitely regret it. I'm already regretting it. Lai Wen's voice didn't sound energetic at all. Xia Qiuyu came back to her senses for a long time before she realized that Lai Wen had appeared. However, what surprised her more was that the person she saw wasn't Lai Wen, but Su Yun. When she saw Su Yun for the first time, she thought that she was hallucinating. After all, she only went to see Su Yun once after returning to Huaxia. After that, she ran out by herself. At this moment, she even had some suspicions. She would suspect that Lai Wen had deliberately found a person who was very similar to Su Yun to come over and guide her mentally. However, Xia Qiuyu quickly denied this thought because Lai Wen couldn't possibly know about Su Yun. She had never mentioned Su Yun to anyone. Even if people knew that she, Xia Qiuyu, knew Su Yun, they would still think that they were just acquaintances who skimmed the surface of the water. So it was impossible for Lai Wen to do that. Su Yun. Xia Qiuyu couldn't believe her eyes. You actually swam to such a place on a scenic tour. Su Yun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It looks like I really have to arrange for someone to accompany you on your travels in the future. Xia Qiuyu was a little embarrassed. How did you find me? As long as it's someone I want to find, there's no one I can't find, Su Yun said. At this moment, Lai Wen began to understand that all of this was a F***king trick. Starting with Su Yun, it was all a ploy. From the moment Su Yun started to approach him, he had completely fallen into the trap. This F***king bastard. Su Yun looked back at Lai Wen. As long as Lai Wen wasn't an idiot, he would definitely understand what was going on now. This was all your ploy? Lai Wen shouted. You were faking it from the beginning? Lai Wen, since I'm already here, I'm not afraid to waste my breath on you. Su Yun, don't think that the country doesn't know about your private stash of national treasures. Don't think that the country doesn't know about your grave robbing. Lai Wen was stunned. Do you think that you can use some hypocritical donations and deliberate charity to cover up your dirty deeds? Su Yun continued, in fact, no matter what method you use to cover it up, the things you've done won't be covered up. Lai Wen's expression became uglier and uglier. The dog head and sheep head are indeed in his hands. Xia Qiuyu quickly recovered her spirit. I was just a bit away from his hands. You guys actually came for my beast head. Lai Wen turned pale with fright. Su Yun, who the hell are you? Boss Lai, since you want to know so much, I might as well tell you. I'm someone from the relevant department. Su Yun, as for the rest, it's useless to say more. Lai Wen clenched his teeth and the veins on his forehead popped out. Are you kidding me? When I donate so much every year, I don't see anyone from the relevant department commending me. If you didn't do so many illegal things, there would definitely be commendations. Su Yun, unfortunately, charity is covered with hypocrisy. Everything you do is not noble. For people who only did charity for charity, 10 yuan of charity was also a part of their heart. As for those scheming people who use charity to cover up their other things, or people who use charity to hype themselves up and make themselves more profitable, it was better not to do that kind of charity. What was the point if the flavor changed? This is called getting rid of the donkey after it has left the millstone. Lai Wen was anxious. No matter who it was, they wouldn't be able to bear it. Moreover, Lai Wen already felt that his identity was not bad. He had a status now. Under such circumstances, if he was suddenly given a warning, his reputation would be ruined, and he wouldn't be able to make a comeback in this lifetime. No matter who it was, they wouldn't be able to bear it. Are you done? Su Yun had already walked to Xia Choyu's side. After ensuring Xia Choyu's safety, he didn't need to continue wasting his breath on Lai Wen. The beast's head is a national treasure. Hand it to me now, and you still have a chance. Humph. Lai Wen snorted. You said that the beast's head is with me, so it's with me? Where's the evidence? Must I turn everything upside down for you to find it? Su Yun. Then I don't even need to do anything. There's old Nyo and the rest. I'll just sit and wait. Old Nyo will find it for you. Then I'll let him find it. If he finds it, you win. Lai Wen sneered. Su Yun, I don't care if you're from the relevant department or not. I'm also someone who understands the law. If you can find the beast's head, you'll win completely. If you can't find it, I'll sue you until your reputation is ruined. Su Yun was stunned for a moment. From this guy's tone, it seemed like he was prepared for nothing. I'll bring you to find it, Xia Choyu said confidently. No need. Su Yun, the place that you already know is no longer safe. Unless Lai Wen is an idiot, he won't continue to leave it in the same place. Lai Wen was a little proud. You really know how to calculate. You know that I won't leave it in the same place. Then you can slowly find it. Don't think that I can't find it. Xia Choyu gritted her teeth. I'm telling you, no matter where you put it, I will find it. Okay, I'll give you time. But I'll also warn you. Don't think that your methods are legal. I'll call the police now. I want to see how you're going to deal with this, Lai Wen said confidently. Su Yun was very clear now. There was no need to find it anymore. There was no point in finding anything else. The beast's head had probably been moved by Lai Wen. If Lai Wen didn't move it, he wouldn't be so confident. Just you wait. I'll definitely make you regret it. Lai Wen gritted his teeth. You're still too inexperienced to fight with me. I'll definitely convict you of slandering me. The truth will be revealed sooner or later. No matter what methods you use to cover it up. Su Yun had already started to make other arrangements. Outside, old Nyo's people were killing everywhere. They had completely captured the Lai residence. Lai Wen's people were all lying on the ground. None of them were lucky enough to escape. Now, Lai Wen was also a fish on the chopping block. Chapter 3060. I don't have time to talk about the truth with you right now. I just want to confirm one thing. How are you going to fulfill our agreement? Lai Wen said. I gave you the person you wanted, and you have to give me the result I want. Su Yun smiled. Are you afraid that I won't keep my promise? Since you are a man, you have to be responsible for what you said. Lai Wen said, you have to keep your promise. Speaking of which, I am indeed a man who keeps his promise. Su Yun nodded and touched his chin. But I don't know why, but I suddenly don't want to keep my promise. What should I do? Boss Lai, help me and enlighten me. You can't do this. Lai Wen was angry. Why can't I do this? Su Yun shook his head. What I want to do has nothing to do with you. Lai Wen trembled. The most basic thing to be a person is integrity. We have already agreed on this. If you don't abide by it, then you don't even deserve to be a person. Since Boss Lai said so, I really have to keep my promise. Su Yun sighed. Otherwise, won't I become a despicable person in Boss Lai's eyes? I don't want to be that kind of person. Boss Lai, don't worry. You really want to help him? This time, it was Xia Qiuyu's turn to be puzzled. Su Yun sighed. This isn't a matter of helping or not. This is a matter of integrity. This involves my personal character. Xia Qiuyu couldn't understand Su Yun's thoughts at all. Are you crazy? What does this have to do with character? Who is he? You helping him is a mistake in your position and principle. I didn't say that I would help him. Su Yun said, I said that I have to keep my promise. Keeping your promise means that you have to kick Old Bull out. Lai Wen said agitatedly. Su Yun shook his head. I have to keep my promise to help Old Bull destroy you. What did you say? Lai Wen's mood that had just been aroused was once again extinguished by a basin of cold water. I said, I have to keep my word. You're the one who said that the most basic thing to do as a person is to keep one's word. Otherwise, I'm not even fit to be a person. Su Yun said, I made an agreement with Old Cow first, so I have to abide by it. I don't want to be someone who doesn't deserve to be a human. Do you think Old Bull is clean? You're helping him. Lai Wen roared, Su, you can't tell right from wrong. All crows in the world are equally black. Whatever happened to you, he won't be too different. Su Yun smiled. Don't worry, you don't have to worry about Old Cow. Lai Wen still wanted to say something, but he heard a burst of running footsteps above his head. At this moment, he was very clear that his villa had been completely occupied by Old Cow's people. Now, Old Bull wanted to prevent him from making a comeback. Su Yun moved very quickly and left with Xia Qiuyu. Apart from Lai Wen, there was no one else in the underground secret room. Just as Su Yun left with Xia Qiuyu, Old Cow's people discovered the elevator in Lai Wen's underground secret room. Very quickly, Old Cow arrived in front of Lai Wen under the escort of Black Sparrow and the others. There was only calmness left on Lai Wen's face. There was no anger, shame, or helplessness. After he saw Old Cow, he raised his head and smiled bitterly. We were all fooled by him. Lai Wen, what are you talking about? Don't bring me into it when you're talking about yourself. Old Cow smiled. You're the one who was fooled, not me. He's already run away. What else do you want to dream about? What else do you want him to bring you? Lai Wen asked. Old Cow waved his hand. What do I want from him? He doesn't have what I want in his hands. I'm here to get someone from you. You want someone? Lai Wen was startled. He didn't understand what method Su Yun used to trick Old Cow. What are you pretending for? Lai Wen, we're already at this stage. Don't tell me you want me to be rough with you? Old Cow said. So many of your people are useless. Let's not talk nonsense. There's no meaning in wasting time. Lai Wen took a deep breath. Old Cow, I'll tell you one last time. I really don't know what you're talking about. F***CKU. Old Cow had already lost his patience. Stop talking nonsense. Hand over the person. You've already messed with my people. What else do you want from me? Lai Wen was also a little anxious. Let me tell you, don't go too far. You have the upper hand today, but every dog has its day. Old Cow, it's still necessary to leave a way out for yourself, right? Aleph * King kill you. Old Cow didn't treat Lai Wen as a human at all. He felt that as long as he trampled Lai Wen to death today, Lai Wen would be completely trampled to death and wouldn't have the chance to make a comeback. Lai Wen's expression changed. Old Cow, isn't this too much? You're really asking for a scolding, right? Old Cow was speechless. He didn't dare to scold Lai Wen like this in the past, but now he didn't hide it at all. Lai Wen, you've been looking down on me for so many years. You've always acted as if I can't climb up to you. You didn't expect that you would have such a day, right? Old Cow, I admit defeat today. You've made me like this, and I can promise you to let bygones be bygones. Lai Wen forcefully suppressed his anger. But if you continue like this, I'll really not admit it. Are you trying to scare me? You're already like this. Old Cow said. Hand over the person who made the fake for you. What right do you have to play with me? If you don't have that right, what are you? Stop talking nonsense. Lai Wen didn't understand. What person who made the fake? Are you still playing dumb with me? Old Cow spat. Let me tell you, I've come prepared today. Lai Wen slapped his forehead. You've been used by Su Yun. He's not a person who made the fake at all. Furthermore, the person has already been taken away by him. He's by my side for that girl. Both of us have been fooled by him. Do you think I'll believe your words? Old Cow stared with his eyes wide open. Let me tell you, don't use such words to brush me off. If I'm lying to you, I'll be struck by lightning and die a horrible death. Lai Wen's heart felt as if someone had poured a pot of hot water into it. It was so hot that he couldn't sit still and couldn't endure it. Old Cow turned his head and glanced at Black Sparrow. Have you seen Su Yun? No. Black Sparrow shook his head. I haven't seen him at all. Old Cow frowned. Of course you can't see him. He's always with me. He just threatened me to come here and hand the person over to him. Lai Wen hung his head dejectedly. Old Cow, if you don't believe me, we have to work together now. Only by working together can we find him and get rid of him. Old Cow's face twitched. Work together with you? Based on what? What do you have now? You don't have anything. Why are you still talking about working together with me? Do you think I only have people in Xionghu? Let me tell you, Old Cow, I have people all over the country. I even have people overseas. Lai Wen roared. Who doesn't know how to boast? Old Cow didn't believe him. I still have people on the moon. That whatever Apollo was built with my money. Isn't it just boasting? Lai Wen, shut your mouth. You're really an unreasonable trash. Lai Wen said. Old Cow waved his hand and said to Black Sparrow, Today, let Boss Lai know how powerful this trash is. I won't let him die. I want him to be crippled. I want him to personally see me reach the heavens in one step. Beat him up. Chapter 3061. Su Yun brought Xia Choyu out and took a hidden route. His mission would be completed after he found the person. He was not interested in other things. He was also not interested in how Old Cow and Lai Wen caused trouble. Su Yun found a car that was easy to enter and exit and was not locked. He removed the license plate number from the front and back of the car and signaled for Xia Choyu to get into the car. It was an old Fiat. When this car was produced, the Fiat was still a SAIC car. Some of the older cars didn't have an automatic lock function. Su Yun was aiming for this kind of car in the beginning. After all, there were all kinds of new BMWs and Mercedes-Benz cars in the courtyard. However, these cars were all equipped with high specifications. Su Yun did not want to go through so much trouble. Get in the car. Su Yun ordered. Xia Choyu did not hesitate and immediately got into the car. After the two of them got into the car and drove out of the gate, two black figures quickly jumped down from the tall tree outside the Lai family courtyard. The two people dressed in black looked at each other and looked at each other. One of them quickly took out his phone and dialed a number to report the current situation. Chief, the person has been rescued by Yenlong Lai Wen's family is in a mess now. Do we need to do anything next? That little fellow solved the problem so quickly? On the other end of the phone, Wan Guangxiao felt that it was a little unbelievable. This progress was far beyond his expectations. As long as the person was rescued and there was no danger, it did not matter. It did not matter if the people he had arranged in Xionghu were exposed. Yes, Captain Yen Long solved the problem very quickly and left. He did not tell you anything. Wan Guangxiao was stunned. He did not ask you to do anything for him? He did not seem to have discovered the two of us at all. When the black figure reported this, he was obviously secretly proud. He was a member of the Dragon's Fright battle team. If he went back and told his brothers that even Captain Yen Long of Dragon's Fury did not discover them, they would be really awesome. At the very least, This would make those guys from Dragon's Fury revere them. Wan Guangxiao let out a disdainful sigh. Are you dreaming? How could he not notice the two of you? The person on the other side of the phone smiled embarrassedly and didn't say anything else. Wan Guangxiao was speechless. He didn't plan to let the two of you cooperate with him at all. He could handle everything himself. He was afraid that the two of you would ruin his plans if you helped him. Got it. Hearing the bureau chief's words, the little bit of pride that had just risen in the two of them was completely blown to smithereens. You guys should be more careful. Wan Guangxiao said, now that Yanlong has taken him away, I'll leave the rest to you. You must ensure that all the cultural relics in Lai Wen's residence are not damaged. Hearing Wan Guangxiao's words, the two of them became a little nervous. Chief, about the beast head. If the beast head is still in Lai Wen's house, I believe that Yanlong would not be so determined to leave. Wan Guangxiao said, presumably, the beast head has already been moved. Moved? The two of them were shocked. Impossible, Chief. We have been watching. If the beast head was moved, we would definitely know. Wan Guangxiao sighed helplessly. A newbie will always be a newbie. If I were Lai Wen, would I make such a big fuss about moving something as valuable as the beast head? Let the two of you just watch. The two of them slapped their heads in annoyance. That's right. No one would do that. What an idiot he would be to do that. Chief, then what should we do? Don't think too much about the beast head. I will contact Yanlong to confirm the situation. Wan Guangxiao said, what you need to do now is to ensure the safety of the cultural relics. I will contact the relevant departments of Xianghu Lake immediately to take over the current situation. You just need to hold on until someone comes. We promise to complete the mission. After the two of you leave, immediately write a report for me. Write down all the people who have entered and left the Lai family during this period. Wan Guangxiao said, this is related to the direction of the beast head's disappearance. Yes. The two of them said in unison. After Wan Guangxiao hung up the phone, the two of them realized how immature they were. There were still too many things to learn. Su Yun drove Xia Qiuyu away. Although he had already destroyed the car's license plate, he still chose to avoid the cameras as much as possible. Xia Qiuyu didn't say a word after she got into the car. She looked at the night sky outside the car window and breathed in the cold air outside the car window. This feeling was really good. The car center console showed the date and time today. Xia Qiuyu smiled bitterly. She had been locked up for 50 days. Every day felt like a year. She didn't want to experience this feeling again in her life. What were you thinking? You dared to do anything by yourself. Su Yun finally spoke. Xia Qiuyu shrugged with a helpless expression. Why didn't you tell me about this in advance? Su Yun, if you had told me, I would have at least helped you think of a way. You wouldn't have. I saw that you were too busy, so I didn't want to disturb you, Xia Qiuyu said. But I didn't expect to trouble you in the end. Su Yun was helpless. She didn't intend to trouble him but made it more troublesome. He even went to Africa for her. I know. I must have brought you more trouble, Xia Qiuyu said. I'm sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about. Su Yun, you've learned from your mistakes. There's one thing you must remember. In Huaxia, the strong dragon can't defeat the local snake. Don't try to be brave in many things. Xia Qiuyu nodded silently. The two of them fell into silence again. After passing a traffic light, Xia Qiuyu spoke again. Why are you so sure that the beast's head is gone? Xia Qiuyu was confused. Su Yun didn't think too much about it. Intuition. If something as valuable as the beast's head was still there, Lai Wen would definitely be very nervous when Old Cow brought people in. But I didn't feel that kind of nervousness from him. Xia Qiuyu was startled. She thought about it carefully and realized that it was true. So you're sure that he has moved it? Xia Qiuyu was impressed. Unless he's not a normal person. Su Yun, but I've known him for more than a month, so I have a certain understanding of him. He's not only a normal person, he's also a vigilant normal person. So it's normal for him to move. Xia Qiuyu was startled again. More than a month. What else? Do you think he would bring me here when I just met him? Su Yun laughed. I spent a lot of effort to come here. Xia Qiuyu felt even more guilty. I really didn't expect to bring you so much trouble. If I knew, I wouldn't have been so rash. It's nothing. It's all in the past, Su Yun said. But how did you know that something happened to me? Xia Qiuyu was curious. Su Yun smiled. Of course I know. Seeing that Su Yun didn't intend to elaborate, Xia Qiuyu didn't ask any more questions. You must have suffered a lot these days. Have a good rest. When I leave Xionghu, I'll find a place for you to rest. Su Yun, he was very thoughtful. After all, Xionghu was Lai Wan and Old Cow's territory. If he wanted to have a good rest, he had to leave their territory. Su Yun headed west and headed straight for Guizhou. This was the furthest direction from the province. It seemed that Su Yun's choice was the most unwise, but it was actually the wisest. Chapter 3062. If Lai Wan or Old Niu still had the energy to care about his situation and find trouble with him, they would definitely head east or north, which was closest to Xionghu. That was the direction normal people would choose. Su Yun knew very well that going to the west or the south was definitely the safest. He just needed to drive for a while. Considering Xia Qiuyu's current condition, she needed to rest. Su Yun had to make this decision. Guizhou was a good place. There were 56 ethnic groups in Huaxia, and close to 20 of them lived in Guizhou. The larger Miao, Bai, Dong, Tujia, and Yi tribes were all familiar to everyone. Other than that, there were many unknown Galau, Shui, and so on. In short, it was a place where all the ethnic groups lived in harmony for thousands of years, creating a colorful life. Su Yun rushed and didn't sleep the whole night. They finally arrived at the provincial capital, Ningnan City, when the sky was bright. Because they were traveling on the national highway, they wasted a lot of time. After arriving at Ningnan City, the first thing Su Yun did was to drive the car to a deserted place and abandon it. The journey was bumpy, and Xia Qiuyu didn't get enough rest in the car. Naturally, she was tired and didn't want to talk. Su Yun naturally knew her current situation. He quickly called a taxi and went straight to the downtown area. You don't look like you're here for a vacation, right? The taxi driver saw that the two looked tired and didn't bring any luggage. He was obviously cautious. Passing by, Su Yun said. You didn't bring any luggage? The taxi driver asked carefully. If he sensed any danger, he would rather abandon the car than earn money. Su Yun smiled and saw the driver's worry. We're not bad people. We're really just passing by. There are many people who don't bring any luggage. Money is enough. Rich people are good. The driver looked at Su Yun and then at Xia Qiuyu through the rear-view mirror. The girl was very beautiful. Her face and figure were needless to say. Mainly, her temperament was not an ordinary girl. To be able to control this kind of girl, one must not only be rich, but also someone with great ability. As a taxi driver, he had seen a lot of people. Although he had never driven a goddess with a high-end temperament, he would occasionally meet one or two when he was fetching customers to the airport or hotels. Therefore, he knew very well how rare this kind of top-grade item was. This wasn't just about being beautiful or having a good figure. Many of the outskirts were also beautiful, with all kinds of styles and styles. That was also incredible. He would often drive them to the outskirts late at night and send them to various 4-star and 5-star hotels. He had seen a lot of this kind of girl, but there was one thing that was missing from this kind of girl. He couldn't tell what it was, but the money-grubbing Niu heir and the real goddess Niu heir were definitely different. Obviously, Su Yun's position in the taxi driver's heart was instantly raised. Have you booked a hotel? The taxi driver asked the young boss in his heart, if you don't have a reservation, I'll take you to a hotel. I guarantee that all the facilities will meet your satisfaction. Sure. Su Yun was too lazy to ask more. Now, he really needed to find a comfortable place for Xia Qiuyu to rest for 2 days. It was estimated that the mental damage she had suffered in the past few days had already reached the limit. Xia Qiuyu didn't have the strength to speak anymore. She quietly listened to Su Yun's arrangement. "Let's go to the 7 Stars Hotel in Dubai." The taxi driver smiled. Su Yun was speechless. "Wouldn't that break your schedule? You'd better find a more reliable place. The Middle East is too far." "Boss, I'm not going to the Middle East. There's a hotel in Ningnan called 7 Stars Hotel in Dubai." The taxi driver said, "I see that you're also a person who cares about women. The girl is so tired. If you want her to rest well, then listen to me. You can't go wrong in that hotel." "There's such a hotel?" Su Yun was surprised. "Can it reach the standard of a 7-star hotel?" "Of course, it's not a real 7-star hotel. It's just a name, but it's definitely a 5-star hotel." The taxi driver proudly said, "It's definitely the most unique and luxurious members-only hotel here." Su Yun was stunned. Not just anyone could stay in a members-only hotel. The members of the 7 Stars Hotel come from different countries and regions around the world. They are high-ranking officials in the political world, envoys in China, tycoons in real estate, big shots in banks, celebrities in the art and literature circles, and even large multinational companies in Yong. The taxi driver smiled. "But the members are only limited to the chairman and CEO. That's definitely noble. Then we'd better not go." Xia Qiuyu said, "If we're not allowed to stay and are chased out, won't we be helpless?" The taxi driver glanced at Su Yun from the corner of his eyes. He thought that such a young and rich person must be famous. But then he thought about it again. Why would a really capable person take a taxi? For the people he mentioned just now, it was normal for them to have private cars all over the country. Buying a private jet was something that could be done in a matter of minutes. Since it's a hotel, there's no reason to chase the guests out. Su Yun smiled slightly and signaled Xia Qiuyu to be at ease. If the taxi driver didn't say so, Su Yun wouldn't be very interested in this hotel. Now that he heard it, he wanted to check in and take a look. Of course, Su Yun didn't really want to experience a luxurious life. He wanted to go in and see what kind of people were staying in this kind of place. There was no need to talk about the tycoons in the business world. He wasn't interested. Only the high officials in politics were what Su Yun wanted to know the most. Now that the country was promoting frugality, it was too much to stay in a 7 Stars hotel in this kind of situation. But there was one thing that Su Yun was very sure of. Such officials definitely existed. Maybe they weren't even high officials, but as long as they had power in their hands, they would definitely be able to do such a thing. In this day and age, tigers were lying in their nests, but flies never stopped buzzing. Another point was that this kind of hotel was definitely safe. Taking a step back, even if people like Old Nyo and Lai when really caught up, they wouldn't cause any trouble in this kind of hotel. At least, the people in the hotel wouldn't let them cause any trouble. Su Yun wasn't afraid of trouble, but he was afraid that it would affect Xia Qiuyu's rest. So, choosing this kind of hotel was obviously a wise decision. "Then we're really going." The taxi driver smiled. "Go, it's your 7 Stars hotel. I want to see how this hotel owner has such a big tone and dares to call it so many stars." Su Yun also smiled. Life isn't easy. When you can enjoy it, you have to enjoy it. As long as your money is clean, you can enjoy it however you want. If the money in your hands isn't clean, you should die if you spend a cent more. Su Yun sat in the car and closed his eyes to rest. He was really tired from the journey. The taxi driver didn't say much and went straight to the high-class hotel. Some of the staff in this hotel were a bit snobbish and didn't like the taxi driver. He really hoped that the young boss he brought today was a big problem and taught those snobbish people a lesson. Chapter 3063. When the taxi arrived at the entrance of the hotel, the receptionist at the entrance was not very enthusiastic. If it was a luxury car worth millions, the receptionist would have already opened the door. As for the taxi, The receptionist was much more lazy and only took 2 steps forward. Soo-yoon paid the bill and got out of the car. The receptionist said casually, "Welcome." The taxi driver smiled and waved at Soo-yoon. "Boss, do you want me to wait for you?" "What if?" "There's no what if. Go do your work," Soo-yoon said. The taxi driver drove out of the hotel with a smile but did not go far. He wanted to wait. If the two of them were kicked out, he could take another job on the way. Sia Cho-yu also got out of the car. Seeing that the receptionist was not very enthusiastic, she realized that this was definitely a hotel that only served the rich. The receptionist did not say much. After Soo-yoon and Sia Cho-yu walked into the hotel, no one asked about them. After arriving at the front desk, Soo-yoon directly asked for a room. "Sorry sir, you are not a member of our hotel." After the receptionist got Soo-yoon's ID and verified it, she immediately returned it to Soo-yoon. Soo-yoon did not take it. "Then give me a member." "Sorry sir, our hotel's membership system is different from other places. You can't just apply for it." The receptionist said calmly, "Please find another hotel." "Then what are the requirements for being a member?" Soo-yoon said, "This way, you can see if I have the qualifications." The receptionist shook her head. "This is not my job scope. Sorry, I can't get a room without a member. Let's go. There's no need to stay here." Sia Cho-yu did not want to go through so much trouble. "Not necessarily." Soo-yoon took out his phone and dialed a number without saying anything. The call was to Fong-ing. At this time, Fong-ing had just arrived at the company. She was quite surprised to receive a call from Soo-yoon. This might be the first time Soo-yoon took the initiative to call her. "What's going on? Director Soo actually called me?" Fong-ing was a little surprised. "Sister Fong-ing, there's something I need your help with," Soo-yoon said. "I'm in Ningnan, and there's a members-only hotel here that doesn't allow me to stay." "Why did you run over there?" Fong-ing shook her head helplessly. "If you have time, deal with the company's affairs more. Don't always make those messy things. You haven't shown up for a long time. Do you still know?" Heh. Soo-yoon smiled. "There are some things that can't be avoided. I know that what you're doing must be more important than the company's business." Fong-ing couldn't do anything about it. "Then tell me what kind of hotel is so arrogant that they wouldn't let our Sky Entertainment Group's young master stay here?" 7 Stars of Dubai, Soo-yoon said. Fong-ing nodded. "Okay, I got it. Just wait patiently. Sorry to trouble you, Sister Fong-ing." Soo-yoon grinned. It would be much easier to leave this matter to Fong-ing. After hanging up, Soo-yoon gestured for Sia Cho-yu to follow him to the lounge area at the side of the lobby. The hotel receptionist saw that the two weren't willing to leave, so she picked up the phone and dialed an internal number. A minute later, several hotel security guards wearing the same special training uniform appeared in the hotel lobby. One look at the security guards and you could tell how high the level of the hotel was. They were all custom-made, and the clothes and shoes were all of the standard of the special forces. Moreover, the quality of the hotel security guards wasn't randomly recruited. All of them had very good physical fitness, such as those who had retired from the army or were from the Sonda team. Basically, they were all like this. As long as the salary was high, anyone could be recruited. If you two aren't members, please leave the hotel as soon as possible. The security guards surrounded Soo-yoon and Sia Cho-yu. This type of hotel was very protective of their guests' privacy. They wouldn't let unrelated people sit in the hotel's lounge area. The membership is already being processed. Soo-yoon didn't even look at them. Get the waiter to prepare 2 cups of coffee for us." "Thank you. I hope you can leave as soon as possible. Don't make us take any forceful measures." The security guards were polite, but their tone was full of impatience. "You won't lose anything if you wait." Sia Cho-yu said, "You don't have to do this to open a business. Open a business and welcome customers with a smile. You don't even know such a simple principle. What kind of background does your hotel owner have? So stubborn." Soo-yoon smiled. The hotel didn't welcome people without a membership card at all. There were all kinds of reporters now. If their photos were leaked, it would have a serious impact on the distinguished guests of the hotel. What the guests of the membership-based hotel wanted was a sense of security. Not being disturbed by the outside world was what they needed the most. If there were all kinds of people in the hotel, and the political figures among the members were photographed by people with ulterior motives, it would be a big problem. At this moment, a woman appeared in Su Yun's vision. Su Yun took a closer look. Oh my God, isn't this the female pig-trotter in Shen Jianglu's video? What's she doing here? The people in the hotel were most afraid of this kind of thing. They were worried that these people with status would be seen and photographed by people with ulterior motives. It was that simple. This woman had been very popular recently, and the stock prices of the chair manufacturers soared. Those who had seen the video knew that although the movie was short, it fully exposed the cruelty of the stock market this year. Facing the huge financial center, the female lead's lonely back seemed especially lonely. Although there was someone behind her supporting her with leverage, every time the leverage was injected and the funds were withdrawn, it would cause the market to scream again and again. It was unbearable to look at and listen to. What are you looking at? Are you entertainment reporters? The security guard couldn't take it anymore. Leave all the camera equipment here. Su Yun shook his head helplessly. You are too careful. I just want to take a look. There's no need for that, right? What can't I see? I saw her video. She's wearing clothes. It won't kill me to take a look. Take them out. The security captain was angry. Just as the security guards were about to take action, a guy in a white shirt slipped out quickly. His whole body exuded the aura of a slave. Oh, it's Chairman Su. This guy in a white shirt was the assistant manager of the hotel's housekeeping department. He ran out immediately after receiving the call. Before the security guards could react, the assistant manager waved his hand impatiently. Go, go, go. Don't be an eyesore here. You don't even know that Chairman Su is here. What are you doing here? You have eyes but can't see empty. Hearing the assistant manager's words, the security guards immediately left. They didn't expect this young man to have such a background. They could only vent their anger at the hotel's front desk. The girl at the front desk didn't dare to breathe loudly. The assistant manager was a distant relative of the hotel's boss. He was usually arrogant. His attitude today was obviously because the boss had told him to treat the guests well. Chairman Su, you should have told us in advance that you are coming. We have to treat you well. The assistant manager said, I will take you to your room now. You don't need to register? Su Yun said. Of course not. Everything has been arranged. You will be our VIP guest in the future. You only need to call before you come. We will prepare everything for you, the assistant manager said. With Feng Ying's intervention, things became much simpler. Xia Chuyu was really surprised. She didn't expect Su Yun's face to be so big that it was settled with a phone call. Only then did Su Yun stand up in satisfaction. Chapter 3064. Feng Ying didn't ask what kind of room Su Yun wanted and arranged the best suite for him. No matter what, Su Yun was the CEO of Sky Entertainment Corporation. Sky Entertainment Corporation couldn't lose face. How could the CEO not get a room in a hotel? How could that be? Even if Su Yun didn't want to lose face, Sky Entertainment Corporation had to fight for it. A membership-based hotel was nothing more than paying a little more for membership and then giving out a portion of the money. The money could be used as room fees in the future. Sky Entertainment Corporation didn't care about this bit of money at all. Feng Ying could handle this kind of small matter directly. She didn't even need Zhuo Meiyan's or Ruan Qingxuang's approval. The assistant manager of the guest room department personally led Su Yun and Xia Chuyu to the room. Su Yun was very satisfied when he entered the room. CEO Su, no matter what you need, just give the front desk a call and we'll serve you immediately. The assistant manager flattered. There's only service that you can't imagine. There's nothing that we can't satisfy. I just want some peace and quiet. Su-yun looked at the door of the room. The assistant manager suddenly understood and slapped his thigh. Understood. Understood. You two rest first, rest first. After the assistant manager left, Xia Qiuyu frowned. We don't need to stay in such a luxurious hotel. The room was really luxurious. It was spacious and comfortable. It was extremely luxurious and resplendent. The room was equipped with a full bronze door. The bathroom had a fully automated Vivi toilet. Even the bathroom had a high-end mirror TV. One could even enjoy the feeling of a movie theater when taking a bath. While enjoying the luxurious room, one could also enjoy the minibar in the room. It was quite romantic. Su-yun looked around. Since someone is paying, you can rest assured. I'm not the one paying, so you don't have to feel burdened. If you're paying, I might feel more at ease, Xia Qiuyu said. It's because your company arranged this room that I feel it's too wasteful and luxurious. No matter what, I'm still a CEO. It's not too much for me to stay in a 5-star hotel suite. Su-yun said, nowadays, any small company will have to look for a 5-star hotel to solve their problems for a large-scale meeting. Xia Qiuyu shook her head helplessly. Forget it. Since he had already moved in, she had nothing else to say. Su-yun went to the bathroom. When he came out, he shook his head. Even the disposable products are imported from Germany. This is really a big deal. What's Anna? Xia Qiuyu was not familiar with the brand of these things. Top-grade luxury goods. Su-yun grinned and said, Sister Feng Ying is really generous. At this moment, someone knocked on the door. Xia Qiuyu opened the door and saw a waiter standing at the door. As I said, we just want to rest quietly for a while. We don't need your service, Su-yun said as he walked to the door. Sir, I'm here to ask you what kind of pillows you need, the waiter said. Pillow? Su-yun and Xia Qiuyu were not particular people, so they looked at the waiter at the door in bewilderment. We provide cassia seed pillows, rose down pillows, lavender down pillows, tea leaves pillows, buckwheat pillows, and activated charcoal pillows. The waiter said, soft pillows, hard pillows, and neutral pillows can all be chosen. What kind of pillows do you need? That's really new. Su-yun laughed. Give me a lavender down pillow. I haven't slept on this kind of pillow before. Rose down pillows will do too. Cassia seeds, tea leaves, and buckwheat pillows were easily obtainable and could be found everywhere. It was Su-yun's first time seeing a pillow made of roses and lavender. Okay, sir. The waiter looked at Xia Qiuyu. Then what do you need? He already asked for two. Xia Qiuyu did not have a choice. Okay. The waiter left the room. She came with a cart and brought all kinds of pillows. After taking the pillows and closing the door, Su-yun and Xia Qiuyu could finally have a good rest. I want to take a shower first, Xia Qiuyu said in a low voice. If you need to use the bathroom, you can use it first. No need, you can go. Su-yun. I see that he has everything here. Red wine bath, milk bath, petal bath, all are fine. You can relax. I'm going to lie down for a while. I'm really sleepy. Xia Qiuyu knew that Su-yun was really tired from driving, so she did not say anything more to Su-yun. Xia Qiuyu comfortably soaked in a milk petal bath and changed into a clean bathrobe. She put her clothes in the cleaning bag and called room service for dry cleaning. As for her underwear, Xia Qiuyu still chose to wash it herself. After Xia Qiuyu cleaned everything up, Su-yun was already sleeping on the sofa. Even so, Xia Qiuyu, who was only wearing a bathrobe, still felt a little embarrassed and awkward. After all, her relationship with Su-yun was a little special. They were not very familiar with each other and did not know each other well. Xia Qiuyu also knew that Su-yun took care of her like this because of her father. This was the most awkward part for Xia Qiuyu. Su-yun was also very well behaved because of their relationship. He knew that Xia Qiuyu would feel awkward, so he did not even get on the bed and just lay down on the wide sofa. Fortunately, the sofa here was quite comfortable. Su-yun was quite satisfied to sleep on it. Although Xia Qiuyu was embarrassed, she was exhausted and went to bed to rest. The 3D mattress in this suite was indeed very comfortable. Xia Qiuyu fell asleep not long after lying down. All her tiredness was taken away. This made Xia Qiuyu sleep very well. She did not even know that the dry cleaning clothes had been sent back. Su Yun did not wake her up. He carefully placed the clothes beside her pillow, then picked up his phone and went to the windowsill. He had rescued Xia Qiuyu for a night and a day. It was already past 4 in the afternoon. Wan Guangxiao still had not called, which made Su Yun quite puzzled. Logically speaking, the matter at Xionghu should have been dealt with. Wan Guangxiao should have given him the next step. Su Yun, who couldn't hold it in any longer, dialed Wan Guangxiao's number. He wanted to ask the chief if something had happened at Xionghu. After all, when Su Yun first arrived at Xionghu, he noticed that the 2 guys who went to keep an eye on Xionghu were newbies. Although this wasn't a difficult mission and was considered a very low-level mission for the Divine Dragon Brigade, the newcomers didn't have much experience. It was normal for Su Yun to be worried that they had not dealt with the matter properly. Wan Guangxiao picked up the phone and sounded surprised. "Why are you so proactive this time?" "Chief, I have been waiting for your call for a whole day. Are you purposely trying to make me lose my appetite?" "Why would I want to make you lose your appetite?" Wan Guangxiao shook his head. "I was afraid that you did not rest well, so I didn't call to disturb you. Has the matter at Xionghu been dealt with?" Su Yun went straight to the point. "How is the situation now? There are no accidents, right? The 2 brothers there are fine, right?" Wan Guangxiao smiled. "Don't worry. If they can't even handle such a small matter, then they should just leave the army and not stay in my team." "Okay, Chief. You are still the most resolute." Su Yun sighed. The older the ginger, the wiser. This way he could rest assured. As the saying goes, do not use people you suspect. Wan Guangxiao was definitely unmatched in this aspect. Chapter 3065. Wan Guangxiao knew what Su Yun was worried about. Lai Wan and Old Niu were detained by the local police because they were suspected of violence. I immediately asked the higher-ups to issue a red document. They won't have any chance to use their connections. What about those cultural relics? There are a lot of good things in Lai Wen's house. Su Yun said, "These things are all treasures. Have they been packed?" "Don't worry. My people are watching closely. No one can touch Lai Wen's things." Wan Guangxiao said, "Many of his things are not clean, so we need to do a thorough inspection." "That's definitely not clean." Su Yun nodded. "However, we still need to investigate the beast head." Although Wan Guangxiao was thousands of miles away, he knew the situation like the back of his hand. "I know. The beast head must have been secretly sent out by Lai Wen." Wan Guangxiao said, "But don't worry. I will ask the people in charge of monitoring this matter to write a report as soon as possible. There will be clues then." Su Yun was a little worried. "Bureau Chief, this matter still needs to be dealt with as soon as possible. None of us know how long it has been since the thing was sent out." "I know." Wan Guangxiao nodded. "How about this? You accompany Xia Qiuyu to relax. I will investigate the matter of the beast head as soon as possible. When I have news, I will tell you immediately." Su Yun was stunned. "Bureau Chief, if you have clues, just arrange for people to look for it." "Why do you need to inform me? Do you want me to chase after it?" "Of course. If you don't chase after it, who will chase after it?" Wan Guangxiao said, "You are the most suitable person to do this." "Chief, can't you be a little more compassionate and humane? I've been suffering for so many days." "It's not like you don't know that." Su Yun said, "It's time for me to take a break, right? You want to take a vacation?" Wan Guangxiao frowned. "Yes. Of course I want to take a vacation. I still have a lot of things to deal with." "Chief, I don't have to do this." Su Yun smiled bitterly. "As long as we have accurate information and evidence, let the Brothers of Dragon's Fury handle this matter. They'll definitely do a good job." Wan Guangxiao nodded. That's right, I know. Just let a few people from Dragon's Fury do a good job. Su Yun gave 1,000,000 likes to this. Yes, that's right. Let the boys from Dragon's Fury do it. They'll definitely be able to handle it. Are you sure? Wan Guangxiao said, I gave you a chance. I don't want this opportunity. Su Yun shouted in his heart, but he didn't dare to say it out directly. Yes, I'm very sure. But have you ever thought about who wants to do it the most personally? Wan Guangxiao continued. At this point, Su Yun fell silent. Chief, you really are a sly old fox. Su Yun knew who wanted to do it the most. It had to be Xia Qiuyu. She had worked so hard to investigate this matter, but she failed at the last step. If the brothers of Dragon's Fury found the beast's head now, Xia Qiuyu would have nothing to do with it. This was Xia Qiuyu's father's last wish. That was why Xia Qiuyu had worked so hard to find the beast's head. She wasn't looking for the beast's head to keep it for herself. She wanted to give it to the country. For such a girl, who would be willing to kill her hope? That would be an abominable act. You have to think carefully. Wan Guangxiao said. Anyway, I don't care. As long as the national treasure is safely in my hands, I don't have any problems. It doesn't matter who does it. Chief, you really know how to play. Su Yun said helplessly, we all know who wants to do it the most personally. But can't you get them to find the item and give it to her, then let her hand it to the country? Do you have to trouble her? It's not the same, Wan Guangxiao said seriously. Su Yun let out a sigh. He had truly been defeated. Wan Guangxiao said, if she wasn't the daughter of Shadowless, I wouldn't have thought so much. I would feel more at ease if I arranged for someone to do it. I know what you mean. Su Yun nodded. Chief, I'm really tired of this. Can you give me a reward when I go back? What do you want? Wan Guangxiao said, I'll give you whatever you want. If I can't afford it, you can solve it yourself. Anyway, you're richer than me now. You're the boss of a big corporation. My monthly salary isn't even enough for a big boss like you to have breakfast. Su Yun felt bitter. Chief, if I really lived such a luxurious life, wouldn't you shoot me dead? The country is cracking down on extravagance and waste. No matter what, I'm still a reputable figure in the art circle. I have to set an example. Wan Guangxiao laughed. That's good. I believe you're not that kind of person. Forget it, Chief. I'll wait for your news. Su Yun said, you only know how to make fun of me. I'm not talking to you anymore. Rest well for a few days. No matter where you and Xia Qiuyu are, take good care of her. Wan Guangxiao said, she suffered during this period. Arrange a better accommodation for her and let her have a good rest. Accompany her to relax. Trust me, I'll give you clues very soon. Su Yun nodded. Don't worry, Chief. A 5-star hotel has been arranged. At least you know how to take care of women. Wan Guangxiao laughed. Will the expenses be reimbursed by the army? Su Yun said, I estimate that the room I'm staying in will cost at least 20,000 yuan a day. 20,000? Wan Guangxiao was shocked. Do you know how much it costs to stay in a standard room when I'm out on a business trip? You're the chief. It's definitely high. Su Yun laughed. He knew it was impossible but still exaggerated. I think only a presidential suite of 30,000 yuan a day is worthy of the chief. I'll report you for being extravagant and wasteful. If I go out, it's only 300 yuan a day. You dare to stay in a room that costs 20,000 yuan? Wan Guangxiao was not used to the prices of hotels nowadays. You're too much. Su Yun pretended to shake his head helplessly. I can't help it, Chief. This was arranged by Sky Entertainment Group. I'm the CEO. I need this price. Then why are you asking me to reimburse you? I'll reimburse you for that. Wan Guangxiao laughed. Let me tell you, kid. When I retire, I'm going to take Aunt Wan out to play. I'll ask you to arrange it for me. Let me enjoy a room like this. I've never stayed in a room like this in my life. This was all a joke. Wan Guangxiao was not a person who craved for luxury. Then rest assured, Chief. If you're not afraid of being investigated, then stay here. I'll arrange it. Su Yun laughed. Investigate me? Come on. I'm not afraid of the disciplinary committee's investigation. I can't wait for them to investigate me. Wan Guangxiao also raised his head and laughed. You rest first. I'll call you when I have any news. Goodbye, Chief. You've worked hard. Su Yun said. You're the one who's really worked hard. Wan Guangxiao thought about it and felt sorry for Su Yun. I'm serving the people. Su Yun grinned. Rest. I'm going to a meeting. Goodbye. Wan Guangxiao hung up the phone. Su Yun kept his phone and looked out of the window. Beast head, where the hell are you? Hurry up and come out so that I can hand you over to the country. That way, I can go back and live a carefree life. Chapter 3066. Su Yun stayed on the balcony for a while, looking at the scenery outside the guest room. Ningnan was known as the Green City, and it lived up to its name. The city was green all year round. Even in winter, it wouldn't be bleak, let alone now. There wasn't much difference between the 4 seasons here. It was considered a relatively good place in the country, especially since the winters here weren't too cold. It wasn't an exaggeration for energetic young people to wear t-shirts or short-sleeved shirts to celebrate the new year. Of course, there were also disadvantages. For example, it was just June, and the temperature was already above 33 degrees. Moreover, it was very uncomfortable to feel like it was going to rain. If this place really entered the summer of July or August, it would be at least 37 or 38 degrees, right? People who couldn't stand the heat shouldn't come here in the summer. This was really just a good place to hibernate in the winter. The little swallow in the nursery rhyme from when he was young was definitely not suitable here. The little swallow would probably come here every winter. The dark clouds in the sky slowly swallowed the earth. In the time it took Su Yun to make a phone call, the entire sky had darkened. Even so, there wasn't even a cold wind blowing. The hot weather made Su Yun sweat all over. He simply took off his shirt and bare his arms, which made him feel much more comfortable. Even so, Su Yun still felt uncomfortable. He wasn't used to such stuffy weather. At times like this, only moving around and sweating would make him feel better. Su Yun simply lay down and began to do push-ups, straighten up, and touch the high jump. He remembered very clearly that when he first joined the Dragon Brigade, his master Wang Yi punished him with this training. Every time he made a mistake, broke the rules, or talked back, he would be punished. At the beginning, the punishment was 100. Slowly, it became 200, 300, 500. When Su Yun became the instructor of the Dragon Fury team, he also liked to use this as a punishment. At that time, he was no longer a child, so the punishment started at 2000. In order to convince his brothers, Su Yun would do it every time. Over time, the act of bending down and touching high jumps became a game between them. There was no sense of punishment at all. As a result, the penalty for this action was at least 10,000 points. This was not something an ordinary person could bear. Su Yun thought about the times when he was young and tender. To be honest, he still missed the times when he was young and tender. There was no going back to those days. The more Su Yun thought about it, the faster he moved. He didn't know how much time had passed, but the ground beneath him was already soaked with sweat. Even so, Su Yun still had no intention of stopping. In this kind of hot and stuffy weather, just moving one's body would make one sweat profusely, not to mention exercising. Unknowingly, an hour had passed, and Su Yun still hadn't stopped his movements. He seemed to have completely forgotten what fatigue was. It was true that men who sweat would have a surge in their hormones. Perhaps the sound of Su Yun jumping up had woken Xia Qiuyu up, or perhaps Xia Qiuyu had slept enough. At this moment, she was already awake and leaning against the headboard. She looked at Su Yun on the balcony. A man was the most charming when he was exercising. Su Yun had been muttering to himself the entire time. 2 hours, 120 minutes, 7,200 seconds. Su Yun had completed 10,000 push-ups and high jumps. At this kind of high frequency, even Su Yun was already out of breath. After completing the last push-ups and high jump, Su Yun let out a long sigh. He realized that he was getting further and further away from these days of sweating profusely. To be honest, Su Yun used to wish that he could leave this kind of life as soon as possible. But when he really left the Dragon Brigade, he began to miss those days. Although Su Yun didn't say it, it didn't mean that he didn't miss them. Moreover, Su Yun didn't dare to say it out loud. If the people around him knew that he yearned for those days in the army, it would definitely hurt Sui Meiyen's heart. Su Yun also knew that he couldn't always rely on the girls to support him. But now that he thought about it, Su Yun still relied on them. Those women behind him would always silently give their all for him. After a few minutes, Su Yun finally calmed down. Su Yun picked up his clothes and opened the balcony door to walk back into the room. He subconsciously glanced at the bed and saw that Xia Qiuyu had already woken up. "When did you wake up?" Su Yun was slightly startled. "I just woke up." Xia Qiuyu smiled. "I saw you exercising outside, so I didn't disturb you. I didn't scare you, right?" "No." Su Yun also smiled. "The weather here is too stuffy. I just wanted to exercise a bit. Sweating makes me feel better." Xia Qiuyu nodded. "Yeah, the weather here is really hard to get used to. How long do we have to stay here?" "As long as it takes." "Su Yun, I just confirmed that the problem at Xionghu has been solved. No one will trouble us anymore." Xia Qiuyu didn't have much of a reaction after hearing this. Instead, she asked, "What about the clue to the beast head?" "Don't worry, there will be soon, Su Yun. The clue to the beast head should be under control now. You don't have to think too much about it." Xia Qiuyu frowned. "Then, there's nothing we can do now?" Su Yun shrugged. "That's right, there's nothing else to do. Isn't that good? We can rest for a while." "Of course not." Xia Qiuyu didn't hesitate to answer Su Yun. "Do you know how much effort I put into chasing the beast head?" Su Yun shook his head. "I don't know. You." Xia Qiuyu didn't know what to say. Su Yun was afraid that she would get anxious, so he stopped teasing her. "I promise you that you will get the beast head in the end. Then, you can sleep peacefully, right?" Xia Qiuyu realized that she was a little emotional and felt a little embarrassed. "Then what do you want to do? Do you need me to do anything? What should I do?" "Now?" "Just wait. Su Yun, before we get a confirmed clue, we shouldn't do any meaningless homework." Xia Qiuyu asked curiously, "Is there anyone else helping us?" "Of course, Su Yun. Do you think I can do so much by myself?" Xia Qiuyu understood now. "How do you think I found you without help?" "Su Yun, so you don't have to worry about the beast head. We will definitely get it back." With Su Yun's assurance, Xia Qiuyu finally felt at ease. "You must be hungry too. Let's go get something to eat?" "Su Yun, if you don't want to go out, we can ask room service to send food in." "Let's see what you want to eat." To be honest, Xia Qiuyu really didn't want to go out. She had been suffering from too much mental stress recently. She didn't feel well at all. But when Xia Qiuyu picked up the service book on the bedside table, she gave up after a few glances. "Let's go out and eat. Although there aren't many snacks in Ningnan, I still want to try them." Su Yun knew that Xia Qiuyu didn't want to go out, but he didn't know why she changed her mind. He took the service book that Xia Qiuyu put down and flipped through a few pages. A high-end restaurant was indeed a high-end restaurant. Looking at the prices, a bread basket was 128 renminbi, a plate of Yangzhou fried rice was 168 renminbi, an ordinary set meal with red wine and steak was 989 renminbi, and there was even a single dish of rafferato. There was no upper limit to the price. Candlelight romantic and sweet set meals were more than 100,000 yuan. Chapter 3067. With this price, shouldn't we call the local Bureau of Commodity Prices? Su Yun sighed at the price. As long as one's money was clean enough, no one would be able to afford the things here. Even Yongzhou fried rice was sold at such a high price. The rice must be gilded. Xia Qiuyu also laughed bitterly. This place is not for ordinary people like me to live in. At this time, Su Yun had already picked up another service booklet. When she opened it, she saw that it was even more high-end services. An ordinary door-to-door massage would cost 3,980 yuan. This price could definitely be used as a high-grade healthcare service outside. Excluding the big cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou, this price was not a problem to find a place in the outer regions. Rich people want this kind of service. Su Yun stood up and stretched. Forget it. I don't have such a good sense of consumption. What do you want to eat? Let's go out for a walk in the rain. Xia Qiuyu did not expect Su Yun to agree so quickly. She was very happy. I don't know what's good in South Ning. Let's go out and look. The rain in South Ning was very delicate and did not make people feel disgusted. The two borrowed umbrellas from the hotel and walked out. The drizzle fell, and the branches of the trees were covered in a layer of light green. The rainwater dripped down the tree tips and turned into a string of watery notes. The ground was much more moist and emitted a refreshing fragrance. Su Yun and Xia Qiuyu could not help but take a few deep breaths. The drizzle always liked to quietly wake up the earth, quietly take away the troubles and soothe the scars of people's hearts. Everything was awakened under the nourishment of the drizzle. Xia Qiuyu also forgot all the troubles from before and enjoyed the tranquility and enjoyment that the drizzle brought to her heart's content. Su Yun was in the mood to recite poetry. He proudly recited, "The rain in South Ning is light dust. The guest house is green and green. I advise you to drink more wine. The snack bar is full of people. Wang Wei's 2 emissaries sending Yuan to peace and peace has been messed up by you." Xia Qiuyu was amused by Su Yun. Su Yun was stunned. "Oh, I didn't expect you to be so knowledgeable about poetry. This 2 emissaries sending Yuan to peace has never appeared in any language textbooks. I've read all the poems of the Tang dynasty." Xia Qiuyu said seriously, "The poems of the Tang and Song dynasties are the essence of our Xia's ancient civilization. Naturally, I will read them." "Impressive," Su Yun said. "Then I'll recite another poem. And let's go." For thousands of miles, orioles are singing, the green reflects the red, the water village, the mountain, the guo wine, the flag wind. Of the 480 temples of the southern dynasty, how many towers are in the misty rain? Xia Qiuyu did not want to be outdone. Ancient wood, tied with a short cloak in the middle of the inn, the staff carried me across the east side of the bridge. The rain of apricot blossoms that wet my clothes, the wind blowing against my face is not cold. There were too many beautiful poems in the Tang and Song dynasties that described drizzling rain. Summer and autumn rain really came to mind easily. Impressive. Su Yun scratched his head. "All right, I've thought of another one. Sleeping in spring without knowing the dawn, I hear birds singing everywhere. The sound of wind and rain at night, I wonder how many flowers have fallen." Xia Qiuyu laughed again. Su Yun's stomach was emptied of ink before he could come up with a poem that even a 2-year-old child would know. "This is about the rain at night. It doesn't count." "Then you can recite another one." "Just one more and I'll be convinced," Su Yun said. Xia Qiuyu thought for a moment and immediately said, "The water is sparkling and clear, the mountain is empty and the rain is also strange. If you want to compare the West Lake to the West, it's always appropriate to put on light makeup and heavy makeup." Su Yun really admired Su Shi in his heart, but he deliberately refused to admit it. "I also know Su Shi's poem, Drinking on the Lake After the First Clear Sun, but I think it's about the West Lake, not about rain." Xia Qiuyu was not angry. She smiled and said, "It's belated advice." The two chatted and laughed as they walked. After some time, a few taxis stopped and asked them where they were going. The two waved their hands and did not get in. Unknowingly, the two walked to a food street. At this time, the sky darkened, and the rain slowly stopped. This food street was amazing. It was a national civilization with a long history and many delicacies. It was the favorite place of Ningnon's people for supper. It was also a must-go place for tourists in Ningnon. There were traditional snacks in Ningnon, such as taro cakes, donuts, dumplings, and fried dough sticks. As for barbecued snails and seafood, it was needless to say. There were also all kinds of fruits, herbal teas, freshly squeezed fruit juices, everything. There were also many choices for drinks. Peanut paste, sesame paste, glutinous rice dumplings, wontons, and bazhen noodles. Moreover, there were not only traditional snacks in Ningnon, but also duck neck from Hanzhong, bowl cakes from Hong Kong and Macau, fried chestnuts from Yanjing, steamed chicken from Nanyuan. In short, there were all kinds of delicacies. It was exceptionally delicious. This place was also known as the Hong Kong and Macau Food Street in the south. Ever since the ASEAN Expo was permanently established in Ningnon, this street had gathered the specialty snacks of the 10 ASEAN countries. It was definitely a place to linger on. This street overflowing with the taste of the common people's food would definitely be like an old yellowed photo in the future. It would be difficult to part with it and was worth reminiscing about. The things here were much cheaper. You could buy them for 10 or 8 yuan. The expensive ones were not more than 20 or 30 yuan. Compared to the hundreds and thousands of things in the big hotels, these cheap goods were even more delicious. Su Yun and Xia Qiuyu did not feel uncomfortable in this place. They quickly blended in. Some things were even directly eaten after ordering. They were not particular at all. This was the natural release of human nature. Xia Qiuyu also slowly let go of some of her previous restraints in this situation. Su Yun was very knowledgeable. He could guess what was fresh and what was not at first glance. This made Xia Qiuyu very impressed. Xia Qiuyu really wanted to know how he did it. Looks like you have a lot of experience. I don't have much experience, but I like places like this. Su Yun, do you know what's the biggest charm of eating snacks? Xia Qiuyu shook her head. Su Yun said without holding back, the biggest charm of eating snacks is that compared to eating those slow and pretentious French dishes, this feeling is too good. Xia Qiuyu could not help but laugh. That's because you're not elegant enough. Elegant? What's elegant? Su Yun shook his head. Let me put it this way. Even the most elegant person would not want to go back to eat French food after coming to such a lively food street. Those petty bourgeois who eat French food and Japanese food all day are not doing it for the sake of eating, but for the sake of pretending. Those things are not as delicious as the food here. Xia Qiuyu really did not know what to do with this guy who spoke so bluntly. Do you know why the love on the Titanic is so desirable? Su Yun asked. Xia Qiuyu shook her head. Su Yun said, it's because Ruth hates that kind of hypocritical elegance in her bones that Jack was able to unleash her nature. If it was on land, Jack would definitely bring her here to eat at the roadside stalls. She would also fall in love with Jack. Xia Qiuyu nodded. She did not doubt this at all. Any real girl would like the man they loved to bring them to a place where they were free and unrestrained. And those girls who liked to go to high-end places with men, everyone knew what they were thinking. What was real and what was fake? There was no need to take it seriously in this world of fun. If any man could meet a girl who could smile from the bottom of her heart at a roadside stall with you, he would definitely not miss it. Because this kind of girl was worthy of a man's love. Chapter 3068. After walking for so long, Xia Qiuyu was indeed tired. Su Yun asked her to sit down at a seafood barbecue restaurant. The hot weather had just been washed away by a drizzle. At this time, the best thing to do was to find a seafood stall and order 2 extra large cups of draft beer, a few oysters and scallops, stir-fry the clams with chili, grill a few skewers of Marburg fish, and 2 caddies of grilled lamb chops. That would definitely be a top-notch enjoyment. If they had the money, they could also get a 2 caddies of Australian lobster and steam it. Then, they could also get 2 fresh Irish golden crabs. Paired with the fresh abalones from Hua Xia, it would definitely be a sumptuous and nutritious meal. If such a feast was placed in a 5-star hotel, it would cost at least 30,000 to 50,000 yuan. But if it was placed in a food stall, 1,000 yuan would be enough to fill both of them to death. This was Su Yun's first time treating Xia Qiuyu to a meal. Naturally, he would not hesitate. Although both of them had eaten a lot of snacks along the way, Su Yun still ordered lobster, crab, abalones, clams, and other classic seafood dishes. As for the barbecue skewers, they did not have such a big stomach to eat so many oily things. The food stall was indeed cheap. Su Yun ordered 4 items and a 5-caddy bucket of draft beer, and it only cost him 310 yuan. This made Su Yun feel that it was unbelievably cheap. Su Yun handed the stall owner 400 yuan. The stall owner gave him the change, and Su Yun casually counted 80 yuan. "Boss, you got the wrong change," Su Yun casually said. When the stall owner heard it, he took the money from Su Yun's hand and counted it in front of him. 1 20 yuan note and 6 10 yuan notes. "Sorry, I was too busy and did not notice it." The stall owner smiled embarrassedly and took out another 10 yuan note and gave it to Su Yun. Su Yun didn't mind. He smiled and said, "Being busy means that business is good. Our country's leaders are leading the world. Naturally, there will be things for the common people to do. Don't give the wrong money again. If you give the wrong money to someone else, wouldn't you have worked hard for nothing tonight?" "Who wouldn't say that? I really have to be more careful." The boss laughed. "Wait a moment, I'll serve it to you right away." Su Yun went to find Xia Qiuyu and sat down. The draft beer was quickly served, and the two of them drank happily. Perhaps this feeling can only be found in Hua Xia. Looking at the endless stream of people on the street, Xia Qiuyu sighed, "Even if there's a place like this overseas, it's not as lively as this." "Su Yun, that's a must. Only Hua Xia can do this kind of food culture that combines shops and street stalls." Xia Qiuyu said, "That is indeed the case. If it weren't for the fact that the city management team stopped idling these years, the street stalls would be even scarier," Su Yun said, "but if it isn't monitored, the city's hygiene will be even harder to control. That's why the existence of the street stalls is still very necessary," Xia Qiuyu said. "It can pass down this kind of food culture and ensure the city's hygiene." At this time, the seafood Su Yun ordered was served. Su Yun couldn't wait to drink another glass of beer. "Let's not stand on ceremony, let's eat." Xia Qiuyu also drank a glass of beer. Like Su Yun, she directly grabbed the food and started eating. Eating this kind of food meant that one had to be open-minded. If one pretended to be a gentleman and acted elegant, it wouldn't be suitable for food stalls. After a fierce meal, Su Yun felt very comfortable. He hadn't eaten so well in a long time. After drinking a few glasses of beer, Su Yun started to feel like he was floating. "Comfortable." Su Yun chuckled. "You don't look like you're full yet," Xia Qiuyu said. "Do you want something else?" Su Yun looked at the next table. The grilled oysters were also very tempting. "How about a few more garlic oysters?" "Sure, you can eat," Xia Qiuyu said. "I'm full." Su Yun was also polite. "I want a few more. Let's eat together." "That's for men. I'll pass." Xia Qiuyu waved her hand and shook her head. "Oysters are divided into men and women?" Su Yun was confused. "It's the same no matter who eats it, right? Oysters are a man's tonic," Xia Qiuyu said. Xia Qiuyu said, "I've seen it in a Chinese medicine book before, so you should eat it yourself." Su Yun laughed dryly. "What prescription did you read? It must be that oysters are a man's tonic, right?" "That's right. There is such a prescription. Eat 2 oysters a day for a month. But that's because oysters are rich in zinc, amino acids, and selenium. These elements are not only helpful for men, but also for women." Xia Qiuyu was skeptical. "Is that so? Do you know that oysters contain a lot of lead that most people lack?" Su Yun was serious, but he wasn't talking nonsense. What he said was the truth. Therefore, eating more oysters can prevent skin from drying out. It can also promote the metabolism of the skin and break down the melanin under the skin, producing white and tender skin. Xia Qiuyu laughed. According to what you said, eating oysters can make people white. It's true. I'm not joking, Su Yun said. Xia Qiuyu thought for a while. Okay, then I'll try too. It's really my first time eating oysters. I've never eaten oysters before. Oysters are rich in meat, and it's fresh, sweet, and juicy. I guarantee that you'll love it after eating it once. Su Yun said and stood up. The oysters here were really cheap. 10 yuan for 3. Su Yun didn't even think and asked the boss for 50 yuan. When he took out the money to pay, Su Yun was stunned for a moment. Just now, the boss said that it was 310 yuan. When he gave him the change, he gave him the wrong change and only gave him 80 yuan. After he noticed, the boss gave him another 10 yuan. Logically speaking, he should have 90 yuan at this time. But now, he only had 70 yuan, and the 20 yuan note was gone. Soon, Su Yun understood that this was a common tactic used by small vendors. They would first give you 10 yuan less, and when you noticed it, they would take the money back to confirm it. After confirming it, they would give you more money, but at the same time, they would take more from you. This kind of thing was common in many places, but Su Yun really didn't expect that he would be lucky enough to encounter it. Boss, here's the money, Su Yun said and handed the 30 yuan to the stall owner. The stall owner took the money and was startled. Didn't you want 15? 50. I know it's 50. Su Yun smiled. But you just took 20 from me, so I'll only give you 30. How could the stall owner admit it? He didn't care about Su Yun's words. Friend, I'll give you 9 for 30. Go back and wait. 15. I can't miss even one. Su Yun was also a stubborn person. If the price was higher, he wouldn't mind. But if the price was low, Su Yun couldn't accept it. People who opened businesses valued integrity. If they didn't even have the most basic integrity, then they might as well close down and go home. The stall owner didn't have any intention of paying attention to Su Yun. To him, Su Yun was just an outsider. He didn't need to pay attention to an outsider. 10 minutes later, 9 oysters were placed in front of Su Yun. Su Yun slammed the table. Xia Qiuyu signaled him to calm down and asked him what happened. Su Yun told Xia Qiuyu what happened. Xia Qiuyu didn't care too much about it. Then just treat it as feeding the dog 20 yuan. There's no need to bicker with them. This isn't a matter of bickering or not. It's because of the compromise of the tourists that so many unscrupulous vendors started to rip off the tourists. Su Yun, this isn't a matter of money. I really don't care about 20 yuan. I wouldn't even care if it was 200 or 300, but I definitely can't forgive this. Chapter 3069. Xia Qiuyu had no choice. She saw that Su Yun was a serious person, but she didn't want to cause trouble. Just as Su Yun stood up, she reached out and grabbed Su Yun's wrist. Su Yun was stunned. It wasn't his style to shake off a girl's hand. He looked back at Xia Qiuyu, as if to ask her what she was doing. Xia Qiuyu pointed at the seat. I'll deal with it. You sit. Su Yun didn't expect Xia Qiuyu to say that. Since nothing big could happen here, it was fine to let Xia Qiuyu go. Su Yun nodded in agreement. Xia Qiuyu reached out her hand. Give me 100 yuan. Su Yun gave it to her without thinking. Xia Qiuyu took the money and walked to the stall owner. Su Yun smiled as he ate the oyster. He really didn't know what Xia Qiuyu was going to do. Was she going to give money to someone else? No way. Boss, give me 6 more oysters. Xia Qiuyu handed the money to the stall owner. It was his fault just now. Please don't take it to heart. Oh my God. What's going on? Is she going to give in to someone else? Su Yun lost his appetite. It was clearly this bastard who cheated him of his money. Xia Qiuyu actually gave money to someone else and apologized. It wasn't just 20 yuan that was lost. It was also a matter of face. The stall owner laughed when he heard that. He took the money and gave 80 yuan to Xia Qiuyu. Little girl, you're so sensible. Your friend is too much. Yes, yes, yes. I'll definitely talk to him. Xia Qiuyu took the change and casually counted it. Boss, you gave the wrong change. The stall owner was stunned. No, he couldn't use the same trick on a table of people twice. He gave the exact 80 yuan. Xia Qiuyu handed the money to the stall owner. Count it and give me 10 yuan more. Oh my god, is this girl stupid? Can't she count 80 yuan? The stall owner laughed and took the money. He took out a 10 yuan note and said, maybe there were too many people and I saw it wrong. As he spoke, the stall owner put the money into a pouch under his apron. Then, he wiped his hands on the apron and said to Xia Qiuyu, Miss, since you're so honest, I'll give you an extra oyster. Thank you, boss. Xia Qiuyu returned with a smile. Su Yun watched for a long time but could not see how Xia Qiuyu was teaching someone a lesson. When Xia Qiuyu came back, he wanted to stand up. You went to plant your face. Give him a taste of his own medicine. Xia Qiuyu shook his finger. This is called giving him a taste of his own medicine. Where else did you treat him? Su Yun was speechless. You just gave him money to buy a few oysters. Besides, I saw it from afar. The change he gave you was just right. You even said that he gave you an extra 10 yuan? Yeah. Xia Qiuyu said, but if I don't tell him and he gives me an extra 10 yuan, how can he be distracted? Su Yun was stunned. So what if he's distracted? Guess what will happen if he's distracted? Xia Qiuyu smiled proudly. Just as Su Yun was at a loss, Xia Qiuyu suddenly took out a stack of money from her pocket. It was all 100 yuan note. It was a thick stack. There were at least 6,000 to 7,000 yuan. F***ck. Su Yun was completely shocked. She was indeed the daughter of the thief god, Shadowless. When did she do it? How did she get all the 100 yuan notes from the stall owner? Su Yun did not even see it clearly. Su Yun was really convinced this time. Su Yun picked up an oyster. I'll eat it first as a sign of respect. Eat slowly. If it's not enough, I'll buy more for you. Xia Qiuyu smiled. Ever since she was caught red-handed by Lai Wan, she did not have a single cent on her. Suddenly, the feeling of having money was really good. Although the 6,000 to 7,000 yuan could not do anything, it was at least a punishment and a lesson for the stall owner. It reminded him not to use such unscrupulous methods to scam consumers' money in the future. This kind of thing happened all over the country, especially in this kind of place. Some people did not care about the change and would lose 10 yuan. Some people did care about the change and would scam them twice as much. Although this kind of trick was clumsy, it was tried and tested. Too many people were scammed because they did not care. 10 to 20 yuan did not seem like much, but if one person scammed 10 to 20 yuan, 10 people would be worth 100 to 200 yuan. Scamming dozens of people in one night, the illegal income would be over 1,000 yuan. This was a matter of principle. Evil was a small evil, but it could not be allowed to grow just because it was a small evil. If the small evil was not controlled in time, it would become a big evil sooner or later. I really didn't expect your skills to be so good. Su Yun smiled. Not bad. With your skills, you won't starve to death anywhere. Xia Qiuyu smiled proudly. I came to Huaxia empty-handed. I don't have much money on me. I was hoping that you would sponsor me when I met you, but I didn't expect you to not have this intention. Su Yun was embarrassed for a long time. You didn't say anything. Is there a need to say it? I came here because I was unfamiliar with the place. I had been going to school and had no job. Where would I go to earn money? Xia Qiuyu said. Then how did you survive? Su Yun asked cautiously. Don't tell me you relied on this? Xia Qiuyu said, after I got off at the train station in any city and walked around, I would always meet a lot of third hands. I could always get a lot of benefits from them. Su Yun smiled bitterly. Although the money from those people is not clean, it's not right for you to do this. I know it's not right, but I had no choice, Xia Chuyu said. I came to Hua Xia to find the beast head. I didn't have time to work to earn money. My father's clues didn't directly tell me where the beast head was. I found it through little clues. I had to live in the process, so I could only use these underhanded methods to earn money. Su Yun didn't blame her. Anyone would do the same. You don't have to do this in the future. No matter when, you can tell me how much money you need. Su Yun said, I'll give it to you. Who are you to me? Why should I ask you for money? Xia Chuyu waved her hand. I'm a person with hands and feet. I won't ask for money. After finding the beast head, I'll be able to find a decent job wherever I go. After all, I'm a master's student from MIT. Su Yun gave her a thumbs up and looked like he was worshipping her. I admire a top student like you. Xia Chuyu was amused by Su Yun. Stop flattering me. Clang. A chair suddenly fell across Su Yun and Xia Chuyu's table. The owner of the food stall sat down angrily. He held a plate of oysters in his hand and directly threw it on the table. Yo, what kind of attitude is this? Su Yun was unhappy. Haven't you heard that the customer is God? Is this how you treat your God? Come, sit down. I'll teach you what service is. Don't give me that. The stall owner waved his hand. I know you did it. Give me back my money and we'll be fine. Su Yun was confused. What money? He looked at the stall owner and then at Xia Chuyu. What does he mean? Xia Chuyu shook her head with an innocent look. I don't know what he's talking about. It must be a mistake. Come, let's eat. Ignore him. Chapter 3070. When the stall owner saw that the two of them were playing dumb, he ignored them. He took out the knife in his hand and slashed it on the table. This time, it was truly imposing. Let me tell you, I'm one of the minority democracies here. You know our country's policies. If you dare to provoke me, then don't blame me for being rude. The stall owner threatened. Su Yun grinned. He didn't deny that the country's policies gave preferential treatment to minorities. He also supported this point. The reason was simple. In Hua Xia, the minority democracies were fundamentally inferior and unfair. They lacked social capital, good publicity and packaging, and their economic foundation was generally poor. Because the place where they lived was not developed, it was not easy for them to develop. Only places with bad natural environments would have inconvenient transportation. This led to the minority population base being small. Their customs and cultural heritage were easily lost and difficult to preserve. Before the founding of the country, the minority had also suffered a lot of oppression and exclusion. So now we have to make it up to them. Equality, unity, and mutual assistance are the good virtues of our country. Giving more preferential treatment to the minority democracies is what the country should do and must do. There was nothing wrong with this matter, nothing wrong at all. If anyone felt that the minority should not be treated better, then they were narrow-minded. They lived in such a bad environment and didn't cause trouble for the country. Of course, they should be rewarded and supported. However, if they really wanted to be extremists, the country would not tolerate it. Everyone was equal under the law. If you want to die, then go and be an extremist. It was guaranteed that you would die thoroughly. The country gave preferential treatment to the minority, and most of the minority people held a grateful heart. But it was still the same sentence. No matter where, there was trash. There was a small number of minority compatriots, such as the stall owner, who used their identity to do some unscrupulous things. He often used this kind of swindling and threatening. Because he was a minority, the local police didn't want to provoke him. This gave him the courage to do such despicable and shameless things again and again. I don't care what ethnic group you are. This is an equal society. If you don't talk reason, I will also hit you. Su Yun sneered. Do what you should do. Don't disturb us eating. The stall owner stared. You stole so much money from me and still want to eat in my shop. You must be dreaming. You need evidence before you speak, Su-yun said. What evidence do you have? The stall owner pulled out the kitchen knife from the table. This is my evidence. Since ancient times, the people of Guangxi and Xiangxi had always been valiant. The people of this place did not bully the weak and fear the strong. They were also not like some places where their mouths were harder than their fists. Since ancient times, the girls in this place had been proud of marrying bandits. Moreover, if they wanted to fight, they would fight. There was absolutely no nonsense. Conversations like, "What are you looking at?" "So what if I'm looking at you?" "Let's try again." Or, "Let's try." You definitely wouldn't see them here. This was the custom of the northeastern region. There was no lack of fierce people in the northeast, but most of the time, they were more ruthless in their insults than in their attacks. However, things were different here. Over here, it was very likely that a knife would be used just because of the word F***ck. In the northeast, there were times when 18 generations of ancestors were cursed without a fight breaking out. Of course, if a fight really broke out, it would be with no regard for one's life. Many people said that the northern men were fiercer and that the southern men were not manly. These words were too one-sided. Indeed, the men in the North China region were not as fierce as the rumors said. When it came to fighting, those who fought with their lives on the line were probably the fiercest in Shandong. As for the southern men, they were not as cowardly as many people said. When it came to fighting, there were also many who fought with their lives on the line. Just by looking at the school violence, it could be seen that a lot of it happened in the south. The stall owner picked up the knife and was about to chop off Su-yun's head. He did not hesitate at all. Normal people would think that this kind of situation would only happen in a small roadside restaurant in the northeast. In fact, this was not the case. The food street in the south was not a place where people could be so unreasonable. Su-yun's reaction was also fast. He suddenly raised his leg and hooked the stall owner's wrist with the tip of his foot. The kitchen knife in the stall owner's hand immediately flew out and into the sky. Su-yun got up and grabbed the stall owner. With a fierce pull, the stall owner's entire body was thrown onto the table in front of him. The table was a mess. The kitchen knife fell from the sky and landed beside the stall owner's ear with a clang. The deterrent force of this attack was really powerful. Everyone present was shocked. If the knife was just a little bit off, the food stall owner's head would have been directly chopped off. You want to make things clear, right? Su-yun smiled slightly. Just tell me, did you cheat me of 20 yuan before? The stall owner was also panicking. He knew that he had encountered a tough opponent. There was no lack of ruthless people in any place in the country. However, the ruthless people in any place had their own masters that they were afraid of. When Su-yun's terrifying aura slowly rose, not to mention the stall owner, even Xia Qiuyu who was sitting beside Su-yun felt cold sweat coming out of his body. Su-yun pointed at the kitchen knife and said, "Tell me the truth. Let's have a good chat. If you don't pay attention, then let it chat with you." "Yes, I did tamper with it." The stall owner sucked in a breath of cold air. Su-yun let him go. "That's it. Get the money back for me." The stall owner stood up carefully. I can give you the money, but, she took my money." "Did she?" "Please, you have to pay attention to evidence." "Su-yun, don't talk nonsense without evidence." The stall owner gritted his teeth. He had to admit defeat today. You won't remember the lesson without punishment. Xia Qiuyu didn't intend to return the money. For her, it was fine if she didn't do anything, but she definitely wouldn't leave empty-handed. Even if she, Xia Qiuyu, wasn't a little thief on the street, rules were rules. She couldn't return what she got. The stall owner's forehead was covered in sweat. "It's not easy for me to do business. Otherwise, I wouldn't do this kind of thing." "It's not easy?" Su-yun smiled and took out a box of Hibiscus King from his apron pocket. If you don't have money, then why did you smoke this? It's Hibiscus King Blue Star. 51 packs. If you're really someone with 80 years old and a mother crying piteously for food, you should really be dragged out and chopped up. Do you know how many books you can buy for your child with 1 pack of cigarettes? The stall owner didn't say anything else. Su-yun stood up and said to Xia Qiuyu, "Let's go." Let him reflect on himself. Seeing the two of them walk away, the stall owner slowly calmed down. He had met a ruthless person today, but he couldn't admit defeat just like that. More than 6,000 yuan. Today's business was taken away. He would lose a lot of money. He definitely couldn't let them leave like that. This food street was his territory. The two young men and women who spoke Mandarin were obviously foreigners. No, he definitely couldn't let this happen. The stall owner lowered his head and hid in a corner with no one around. He took out his phone and dialed a number. Su-yun and Xia Qiuyu didn't sense any danger at all. They continued to walk around the food street. Other than eating, they could also feel a lot of local folklore. Moreover, the weather after the rain was refreshing. Walking outside was much more comfortable than squatting in the hotel. Chapter 3071. Stop. Don't run. An angry roar came from not far away. Su-yun and Xia Qiuyu couldn't help but look in the direction of the voice. They saw a burly man holding a grilled chicken neck and wings as he chased after a woman with all his might. The woman was about 35 or 36 years old. Her clothes were very ordinary. Her checkered shirt was the kind that was especially cheap. The cloth shoes on her feet were also very old. Many parts of the shoes had already been unglued, and the soles of the shoes looked like they would fall off at any time. Just as Su-yun saw this and was worried that the soles would crack, the soles really did. The woman staggered and fell to the ground. The broken shoes flew out as well. The burly man went forward and grabbed the woman's hair, roaring, "Run! Run again! You thief! I'll beat you to death!" With that said, the man raised his hand and was about to hit her. Xia Qiuyu couldn't stand this. Although she didn't have the habit of stealing, she was still the daughter of a master thief. Usually, she couldn't stand petty thieves, but the word thief could be seen on the faces of petty thieves. However, this woman's face didn't give off the feeling of a thief at all. No matter how one looked at her, she looked like a simple village woman. She looked about 35 or 36 years old. If one looked carefully, they would discover that her skin was probably rougher than those women in their 40s or 50s in the city. Su-yun could see the worry on Xia Qiuyu's face. He took a step forward and stopped the man's slap. "Bro, wait a moment. What's the situation? Why are you hitting someone in public?" Su-yun said with a chuckle, "We are all men. It's not good to hit a woman, right? She's a thief. Thieves deserve to be beaten." The burly man glared and still looked like he was about to hit her. The woman who fell to the ground didn't make a sound. She held a plastic bag tightly in her hand and bit her lips. Her eyes were filled with tears. When Xia Qiuyu saw this, she knew that there was something else going on. A thief wouldn't be like this. She squatted down and said to the woman, "Big sister, is there a misunderstanding here?" The woman bit her lip and didn't say anything for a long time. Finally, she said, "No. There's no misunderstanding. I did steal from him. If you want to beat me, go ahead. But I beg you, don't let the police arrest me. My daughter is still waiting for me at home." Hearing this, Xia Qiuyu's heart softened. Did you see that? She admitted that she was a thief. The burly man raised his hand again. Su-yun stopped him again and said to the woman, "Big sister, how much money did you steal from him? Return it to him." The woman suddenly clenched the thing in her hand again. "Let him hit me. If he can give me the drumstick after he hits me, I'm willing to let him hit me." Drumstick? Su-yun and Xia Qiuyu were both stunned. Xia Qiuyu couldn't believe it. "You stole a drumstick?" "That's right. I sell roasted duck necks, chicken wings, and drumsticks over there. I didn't expect this woman to steal one of my drumsticks and run away." The burly man glared angrily. It wasn't easy for anyone to run a small business like this. If it wasn't that difficult, no one would push a small cart out and stay up until midnight. Therefore, Su-yun could understand why he was angry. However, beating someone over a drumstick was a little too much. "Well, how about this? How much is the drumstick? I'll give it to you." Su-yun said, "Let's forget about it. This big sister seems to be in trouble. Perhaps she's starving." "You can't steal it even if you're starving," the burly man said unhappily. Su-yun took out some money and asked, "How much?" "This isn't about money. I want to call the police and arrest her," the burly man said angrily. The woman grabbed Xiaoqiu's wrist in fear when she heard that. She knew that the burly man wouldn't agree to her request. She could only pin her hopes on Su-yun and Xiaoqiu. "I beg you, don't call the police. Please don't call the police." The woman trembled in fear. "My child is waiting for me at home." Su-yun handed 100 yuan to the burly man. "You don't have to give me the change. Don't pursue this matter. Consider it as giving me face, okay?" The burly man saw the money and his heart softened. He thought for a while and nodded. "Okay, big brother. I'll give you face. This woman is strange. It's my first time seeing someone steal a drumstick." Su-yun comforted the burly man. He lowered his head and said to the woman, "Big sister, you're in the wrong. You said it yourself. You have a child waiting for you at home. Is this how you set a good example for your child?" As soon as Su-yun finished speaking, the woman couldn't help but cry. In between sobs, the woman told the whole story. Everything this big sister did was for the sake of her sick child. She was only 34 years old this year and was a mother of 2. Both of her children suffered from kidney problems. During this period of time, she took her seriously ill elder daughter to the hospital in Ningnan. Because she didn't have money to supplement her child's nutrition, and because it was Children's Day, she did something stupid in a moment of confusion. She was very unfortunate. She had a pair of twin daughters. She should have been a happy person, but unfortunately, both of her children were diagnosed with kidney problems when they were 1 year old. Because both of her children were sick, the family was in financial difficulties. Her husband couldn't bear the pressure and did something extremely unmanly. He divorced her and disappeared. In addition to farming at home, this big sister also worked part-time jobs. Her income was very limited. This time, she brought her seriously ill elder daughter, Da Swang, to the city for treatment. Because of the kidney problem, the child needed to eat grains. Therefore, she wanted to come to the food street and steal some grains from a place that sold grains. Today was a special day. It was Children's Day. When she went out, her daughter said that she wanted a Children's Day gift. Her wish was very small. She just wanted to eat a drumstick. As a mother, she remembered her daughter's words when she passed by a grilled drumstick shop. She only stole a drumstick. The reason was very simple. It was because her daughter wanted to eat it. She wouldn't eat it herself. She didn't want to steal. She also knew how shameful it was. However, at that moment, her motherly love and human nature made her unable to control herself. Once she thought of her daughter's innocent face and thought of her daughter's illness, this mother couldn't bear it. She had been in front of the grilled drumstick stall for almost 2 hours. Every time she wanted to steal, there would be a voice telling her to stop. But in the end, for her daughter's small wish, she gave up her dignity and soul and committed the act of stealing. Her actions weren't shameful. This was a mother who lost her rationality for her child. Anyone would reveal their human nature at a time like this. After hearing this big sister's words, Xiaoqiu's eyes were filled with tears. She was a person without a mother. Since she was young, she didn't know where her mother went. She only had one father. Seeing such great motherly love today, Xiaoqiu really couldn't control her emotions. Even if Su-yun was an unyielding man, he couldn't help but listen to this story. This was human nature. A woman who saw stealing as shameful at this moment, still fell for the sake of her child. She knew how shameless her behavior was, but she still did it. Chapter 3072. The woman's story quickly caused a heated discussion among the onlookers. A westernly dressed old woman grunted. As she threw the tissue in her mouth to the ground, she muttered to herself, "Why does she think highly of others when they are sick? Furthermore, it's not a terminal illness. It doesn't require any huge medical fees. She can't even afford that tiny bit of money. It only means that she's a lazy woman. In this society, as long as you put in the effort, you will reap the rewards." "Are you out of your mind?" A man beside her cursed when he heard that. "To think you are a woman. Aren't you a mother? Don't you have children? Think about it. A mother with 2 sick children. The man even ran away. She wants to see how the children work. How can she take care of the children if she works? She isn't well off to begin with. Don't you have any compassion?" "That's right. Let's see if you won't say such things when your naked man has no one to save him." A few people had already begun cursing. However, the old woman refused to be outdone. Instead, she became even more vicious. "You have the money to send your daughter to the hospital for an injection, but you don't have the money to buy her drumsticks and food. Such people who seek sympathy aren't worthy of your pity. She's a thief. A thief. You should call the police to arrest her. Fine her. Let her not even have the money to treat her daughter. Aren't you afraid of retribution for saying such things?" Someone was already infuriated. When the woman who was slumped to the ground heard that, she shook her head. "I'll never let anyone take away my daughter's life-saving money. I beg you, don't call the police. Don't call the police. Yes, call the police to arrest her. She's a thief. The daughter she grooms will definitely be a thief." The old woman's words turned more vicious. The burly man who was roasting the drumsticks suddenly turned around and left. The old woman's words caused many people to engage in a war of words. Nearly everyone was cursing her. Xiaoqiu felt it the most. When she heard the old woman say that the daughter she groomed would be a thief, she couldn't stand it. Su Yun couldn't stand such a person's twisted mentality. Just as the crowd's emotions were at their peak, Su Yun said to a young man who looked very impulsive beside him, "I don't know what temper you have. If it were me, I would definitely hit her." Against this kind of person, Su Yun couldn't make a move. If he couldn't control himself, he could slap this old woman's face out of shape. Encouraged by Su Yun, the impulsive young man went up and kicked the old woman over. With one person making a move, many people who couldn't stand watching also made a move. What a ruthless beating. Xiaoqiu helped the big sister up. "Big sister, it's really not easy for you. But please don't do this in the future. Let's exchange contact information. If you have any difficulties in the future, you can tell me." After saying that, Xiaoqiu stuffed the few thousand yuan she had taken from the stall owner into the woman's hands. "I only have this on me." This big sister was so touched that she wanted to kneel down in front of Xiaoqiu. Xiaoqiu helped her up. "Big sister, don't be like this. It's all for the child, but you must have your dignity." Su Yun also said, "I know this bit of money isn't enough. Big sister, give us your contact information and card number. How much does the child need for surgery and treatment? I'll get someone to transfer it to you immediately." Of course, the big sister was embarrassed to accept this kind of help. She quickly shook her head. No. I do sanitation work in the morning and pick up some drink bottles at night. I have a monthly income of 2,000 yuan. I can afford it." It would be a lie to say that she could afford it. Perhaps it was enough for the medical fees, but what about daily life? Could it be guaranteed? Looking at the big sister's sallow and emaciated appearance, it was obviously caused by long-term lack of nutrition. Look at the fingernails on her hands. How sunken they were. "Big sister, you don't have to be so polite with me." "Su Yun, it's fate that we met. Although I'm not rich, I can still help with this. In order to reassure the big sister, Xia Qiuyu unceremoniously exposed Su Yun. He's rich. Although he's young, I can guarantee you that he's the boss of a very large corporation. He has plenty of money. It's just that he doesn't like the Forbes list or the Huruan list. He's really rich. The big sister shook her head gratefully. At this moment, the burly roast chicken man appeared in front of Su Yun and the others again. This time, the man's face didn't have the fierce expression from before. His eyes were filled with gentleness. Big sister, I was wrong just now. Please forgive me. The man suddenly took out a bag of chicken drumsticks and wings and handed it to the big sister. These are some of my appreciation for the child. It's a festival today. Let the child eat well. After saying that, the man took out all the money he had in his wallet. This is all I have. See if there's anything else the child wants to eat. Take it and buy it. Led by this man, many people took the initiative to take out their wallets. In today's society, 1 or 200 yuan wasn't much for ordinary people. But for a person or a family in trouble, this could be life-saving. But this big sister refused to accept it no matter what. Because she said that she wouldn't even be able to repay him, so she couldn't accept the money. Moreover, she believed that she hadn't fallen into a desperate situation yet. Su Yun also knew that people were like this. If everyone donated, they would donate as well. But now, the more people there were, the harder it was for this big sister to accept it. She couldn't let go of her heart. Therefore, Su Yun gestured for everyone to leave as soon as possible. As for this big sister, he would help her financially. After wasting about an hour here, the crowd finally dispersed. When the roast chicken man heard that the big sister's apartment was very close to his, he took the initiative to go home with the big sister to see her child. Su Yun was relieved. Xia Qiuyu asked for the big sister's address no matter what. The big sister couldn't resist and told her. It was a renting area in a shanty town. The people living there were struggling people living in the abyss of suffering. It could be seen that the roast chicken man wasn't living particularly well. Even so, the roast chicken man generously told the big sister that as long as the child wanted to eat chicken legs, she could come to him at any time. Although his situation wasn't good, he could still provide the chicken legs. The big sister was so touched that she didn't know what to say. Su Yun was actually a very sentimental person. After getting the big sister's bank account number, he immediately used WeChat to inform Feng Ying and asked Feng Ying to transfer 300,000 yuan to this account. Su Yun knew very well that this money was already an astronomical figure for this big sister. She was already at the point where she couldn't accept it. If the money was more, it would scare this big sister. After thinking about it again and again, Su Yun decided to take out 300,000 yuan. It wasn't that he was stingy, but he was really worried that this big sister couldn't accept such a huge sum. Of course, the big sister didn't know all of this at all. She wouldn't believe that he would really transfer the money to her immediately after she helplessly told him her bank account number. Moreover, she vaguely said her bank account number and name. She didn't believe that he could remember it. However, Su Yun was someone who came out of Dragon's Fury. He had received forced memory training. 4 bank account numbers that were less than 20 digits, he could easily remember them. One had to know that Su Yun could easily remember 500 digits of pi. 3. 14159265358979323384626433832795028. This wasn't a waste of time. In short, his memory was super amazing. The roast chicken man and the big sister left the food street together. Su Yun and Xia Qiuyu also lost their appetite. They were preparing to return to the hotel with heavy hearts. Chapter 3073. Just as Su Yun and Xia Qiuyu were about to leave the food street, Su Yun sensed a dangerous aura. Someone was following them. There were a lot of people in the food street, so Su Yun didn't pay much attention to it. It was normal for someone to be following them. However, It wasn't normal for someone to follow them all the way to this place. Su Yun suddenly stopped. Xia Qiuyu was startled. What's wrong? Do you dare to follow me over there and take a look? Su Yun stretched out his hand and pointed at a dark place in the distance. Xia Qiuyu felt an inexplicable sense of nervousness. Why would a single man and woman go to such a dark place? Although Xia Qiuyu had never been in a relationship before, she knew very well that a man must have an ulterior motive for bringing a woman to a dark place with no one around. Back in school, there were many dating boys and girls in Xia Qiuyu's class, and they all liked to go to dark places. Xia Qiuyu hesitated. She didn't know if she should agree to Su Yun's request. Su Yun didn't ask for Xia Qiuyu's opinion. He pulled her hand and walked over. Let's go over there and take a look. Consider it training your courage. Xia Qiuyu didn't even have the chance to refuse. She was dragged over by Su Yun. Although it wasn't a few hundred meters, it was a very long distance for Xia Qiuyu. She was worried that Su Yun was going to do something to her. She wanted to refuse and stop, but for some reason, she had a trace of inexplicable anticipation in her heart. Xia Qiuyu didn't know how to deal with this feeling. She could only let Su Yun hold her hand and walk into the darkness. When the two of them entered the darkness, the sound of footsteps around them became clearer and clearer. In the end, Xia Qiuyu heard the unsettling footsteps. She suddenly realized why Su Yun was doing this. At this moment, more than 30 young men with steel blades and iron rods surrounded Su Yun and Xia Qiuyu. Yo, I didn't expect this place to be so lively. Su Yun laughed dryly. I'm sorry to have disturbed everyone. You guys are busy, so we'll take our leave first. Leave? Where are you going? A young man slapped his hand with a steel blade in his hand. Let me tell you, no one will come to save you even if you shout yourself hoarse. Really? Su Yun asked. The young man glared at Su Yun. You can try. If someone dares to save you, I'll call you Grandpa. Even the police in charge of the food street at night wouldn't dare to meddle in other people's business. That's good, that's good. Su Yun smiled uncharacteristically. As long as no one comes to stop us. What do you mean? The young man with the steel saber had a blank look on his face. He did not understand what Su Yun meant at all. Su Yun still had that mysterious smile on his face. What do you mean? You'll find out soon enough. Cut the crap. Hand over all your money. The young man with the blade said coldly. Let me tell you, you've offended the wrong person today. How dare you steal from my family? Do you know who I am? Why don't you go out and ask around? How many people in Ningnan don't know me? Who are you? Su Yun said. I don't know you. Then I'll let you know today, the young man said bluntly. Su Yun nodded. Let's get to know each other. As soon as he said that, Su Yun attacked. His figure was like lightning. His fist was like a snake coming out of its hole. His huge fist landed on the young man's face. The young man didn't say a second word after that. The steel blade in his hand fell to the ground. He flew back a few meters and landed heavily on another person. The person who was hit looked. Oh my God! Ghost! His face was smashed so hard that his bones were caved in. They weren't even on the same level. The person they were facing wasn't human at all. At that moment, Su Yun used the tip of his foot to kick up the steel blade on the ground. After a few flips, it landed in his hand. He couldn't be bothered to waste his breath on this group of hooligans. This kind of scum, teaching them a lesson would teach them a lesson. If he gave them a good beating, they might not dare to bully others in the future. Su Yun raised his blade and slashed without hesitation. Although Su Yun used the back of the blade to slash, none of the people who were hit by the steel blade in his hand came out unscathed. One by one, the bones in the places where they were hit directly broke. And it was that kind of explosive. It was a fracture that couldn't be healed even after 3 to 5 months in plaster. The people who were knocked down by Su Yun would need at least a year and a half before they could walk like normal people. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to recover quickly. In just a few minutes, That group of people had been completely overthrown by Su Yun alone. Wails of anguish could be heard everywhere. Su Yun smiled and threw away the steel blade in his hand. "You're right. No matter how you shout, no one will come. Then you can shout slowly." Xia Qiuyu saw how ruthless Su Yun was in this fight. She felt pain for the people present. It was too painful. Just looking at it made her feel pain. "Alright, remember to tell the boss that if he's not convinced, I'll go to his restaurant to eat tomorrow. Ask him to arrange for someone to wait for me," Su Yun said to the people wailing on the ground. "Ask him to find some high-class people. You little trash aren't enough for me to warm up. Alright, don't waste your saliva on them." Xia Qiuyu didn't want to provoke these hooligans. There was a good saying. The king of hell was easy to provoke, but the little demons were hard to deal with. If these hooligans really bothered her, she wouldn't be able to sleep peacefully at night. "Don't be afraid." Su Yun seemed to see through Xia Qiuyu's worries. "The place we're staying at, these low-class hooligans won't be able to sneak in. Even if they do, they won't dare to make a move there." Hearing this, Xia Qiuyu's heart relaxed a lot. She was indeed worried that these hooligans would follow them to the hotel. But thinking about it, Su Yun's words made sense. These hooligans wouldn't be able to sneak into a high-class hotel with a membership system. It's better to avoid unnecessary trouble. Xia Qiuyu still insisted on bringing Su Yun away quickly. Before Su Yun left, he turned back and shouted, "Don't forget to tell the boss that I'll be back tomorrow to take care of his business. Tell him to open for business." Xia Qiuyu really had to hand it to this guy. "You're really going to fight to the death with him?" Su Yun nodded seriously. "It's obvious that you don't have any social experience. For this kind of person, you have to convince him once and for all. Otherwise, he'll definitely think of a way to cause trouble for you. We're not locals. We won't fight to the death with them," Xia Qiuyu explained. Su Yun shook his head. "I can't help it. I'm a person who likes to fight to the death. I just can't stand this kind of bully's behavior. We've already taken a lot of his money." Xia Qiuyu said, "He should have learned his lesson. Don't lower yourself to his level. If he really learned his lesson, he wouldn't have found so many people to block us." Su Yun said lightly, "Don't worry. I know what I'm doing. I won't mess around, but I definitely won't allow others to mess around with me. It's that simple." Xia Qiuyu knew that she couldn't convince Su Yun at all. She could only shake her head helplessly. "Okay, you're good." Su Yun chuckled. "What do you mean by, I'm the best?" "I've always been better than them. If he dares to challenge me tomorrow, I'll let him know what it means to be the best." Xia Qiuyu smiled bitterly. "This guy is really unreasonable when he's serious. It seems that I really have to go to the food street with him tomorrow." You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.